Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. How are we doing? It is time. It's time for a new trial. I've been keeping this one a little bit close to the vest. Defense made a motion for a mistrial. Prosecutor was up to some fuckery. Potentially damaging evidence, no basis for it. The judge specifically said, do not ask that question. Do not use that as evidence. She walked right down the path and asked the question. It may be over on Tuesday morning. Batman Bruce Wayne bitch snitch. Gerald Brooks, your constitution does not apply to me because I'm a sovereign citizen, a traveler on the land, I'm the Moorian Empire or whatever, bitch snitch. Because they're so fucking absurd. If you want to be a sovereign citizen, just do yourself a favor first. Go to YouTube here and just get every sovereign citizen that's ever been before. Find me one that won. God dang, you're right. Don't go down this. It's not the path. Don't have time for stupidity. Some clever dick on the internet didn't find the great loophole in all of the world's law. Bitch snitch. God dang, you're right. God dang, you're right. Traveler on the land. God dang, you're right. Moorish Empire. Traveler on the land. Bitch snitch. Moorish Empire. God dang, you're right. Traveler on the land. Bitch snitch. The late evening U.S. people.
In the trial of Halyna Gutierrez Reed, all eyes turn to the courtroom as the case unfolds. Halyna Gutierrez Reed, the armorer on the set of the film Rust, faces charges related to the tragic shooting incident that took place during production. On October 21, 2021, a prop firearm discharged unexpectedly, resulting in the death of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins and injury to director Joel Souza. The pretrial phase has been marked by intense scrutiny of Gutierrez Reed's handling of firearms and adherence to industry safety protocols. The incident has sparked widespread discussion and raised questions about safety measures on film sets, prompting calls for stricter regulations. As Gutierrez Reed prepares to face trial, the outcome remains uncertain, with the film industry watching closely for potential implications on set safety standards. For further developments in this high-profile trial, stay tuned on the Legal Vices channel as the case of Halyna Gutierrez Reed continues to unfold.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, whoever you're doing it with, however good it feels, however many times you're going to do it, why you're doing it in the first place. I'm just glad you're doing it with me right here, right now on Legal Vices. It's that time of day. It's that time of week. It's that time of year. It's that time of the eon, the decade. It's time for day 2 of the Halyna Gutierrez Reed trial. Now, if you followed me yesterday, you know we didn't get through the entire trial because I live here in Korea. It's 12:30 a.m. here right now, and the trial goes so long that I had to go to work before the trial finished. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch the part I didn't watch yesterday. There's about an hour, a little over an hour that I haven't watched yet. We're gonna watch that at 1.5 speed, and then when we finish that, we're gonna watch today, day 2's trial, also at as high a speed as possible until we catch up. And then we'll continue to watch it at normal speed. So we're gonna watch about the last hour of yesterday's stream, right, real quick. So we don't have a lot of time to shoot the shit like we normally do here. But I am Legal Vices. This is my channel. There's 438 of you here already. That is super. Hit that like button and smash that thing. We got 122 likes. 320 of you haven't done your job. We should be to 450 likes instantly. Get down there. It takes 0 time, 0 effort. And we got a bunch of subscribers from yesterday. I deeply appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed, I would be deeply honored if you would subscribe to me. It costs you nothing and it helps me. And you don't even, there's no upkeep. Just click the subscribe button and be done with it. There you go. That's where we are. I would love to have your subscription. I would love to do it. If you are subscribed or think you are, just double check to make sure you're still subscribed, because YouTube is asshole sometimes and they just unsubscribe people for no reason. They do it. It's just their thing. So make sure you're subscribed. We'll get a like and subscribe. Every day we do a like and subscribe poll. We'll get that set up here in just a quick minute when we start. But for now, we got to do a couple things. I just came off of what I call my F It Friday stream. Once a month, we do an F It Friday griftathon, where every $100 in super chats that come in, I do a shot of whiskey, and we have a panel of guests, and we get all liquored up and have a lot of fun. We just finished that. Those normally go 7, 8, 9 hours. This one only went 3 hours and 15 minutes because I have to be here with you. That you're my priority right now. So we cut that short. But what I'm going to do is I'll just continue it because shenanigans. Well, we're going to do the Halyna Gutierrez Reed trial, but we'll do it with shenanigans. So every $100 in super chats that comes in, I'll just do a shot of whiskey. We have a Glenmorangie Lasanta 12-year single malt scotch, and we've got a Royal Salute 21-year blended scotch. We'll do shots of those every $100 that comes in. It's just for fun and games. So thank you so much for being here, people. That's about all we have. Like I said, I'll get the like and subscribe poll set up as quickly as possible. After we start the video, we've done the like and subscribe thing. We've done the grift. I guess that's where we are. We've got almost 200 likes, but 461 people. So I'm still going to say 230 of you haven't done your job. Hit that like button. The higher the likes we get, we almost set a record yesterday. My record is 1,300 and I think 2 or 3 likes on a live stream. So we need to get up over 1,300 today. So just click that like button and we should be up there immediately. We're over 200 now. So keep it going. Keep these likes coming. That gets YouTube the word out there in the algorithm. All right, I'm done. People hate when I grift, but that's what we're doing. So we got to bring on our first person here today. It's Aussie Overlord Hayden. Welcome. How you doing?
I'm good. I am back in bed, so if I start snoring, just yeet me.
Oh no. Okay.
I'm going to stay muted for most of it so you won't hear it.
Right. All right. Well, we'll do that. We've got a few super chats here right out of the, oh my Lord. All right. People are taking me up on the offer. Rick Nikita, thank you so much for the super chat. Do you remember where you were the day Horus slew the emperor? Okay, let me tell you something here. I know that is a Warhammer 40K reference, but that is it. That is all I know. I know nothing about that. Never played it, never read the books because I'm a heathen. I know I need to get into the books. I know there's 876 million books in the series, so I don't know. I don't know how to get into it. I'm afraid of it. I'll have to talk to Hayden because I know Hayden does the Warhammer, right? He's fallen asleep already.
Yeah, Warhammer is one that I have. Like I've done some of the miniatures, but I'm not that deep into it. I've been meaning to get a little bit more nerdy with that yet, but it's one of the areas I still got to get into.
Yeah, I haven't got into it, and I don't know how, and it scares me because there's so much lore there already. Nick Naylor with the $5. God damn, my dude, I've never got to see at the intro before. That's some highbrow shit. Hey, that's my mysterious super secret editor. I have zero to do with it. I'm like, here, make me a cool montage with this music, and that's what happened. Right. Thank you so much for the support, Nick Naylor. And Island, $2, still subbed. You're stuck with me. Get Jeff drunk. Well,
we did the F at Friday stream lasted 3 hours and 15 minutes, and I think I did 3, 6, I did 8 shots. So that's not much. That's amateur numbers, but we'll see how this goes, because D What with a super $100 super chat that triggers a shot. So cool. Thank you so much, D. What says release the hounds. That's something we normally do when we hit $100 in super chats. We unleash the pig dog cam. I have 2 English bulldogs, but they're both dead tired asleep on the sofa. If they make an appearance, we will turn on the doggo cam, but they've abandoned me. They're super tired today because I took them to the office and they didn't get their daytime nap, kind of like me. But we do have a D. What shot here. D. What, thank you. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. Thank you so much for the amazing super chat. Cheers to you, brother.
And guys, there is an added benefit to the larger super chats today, because the foghorn definitely jolts me awake. So if you'd like to torture me, send him larger super chats.
Yeah, there you go. Cosmic Surgeon. Did the judge piss her britches first thing yesterday? She changed her chair, and when she came back, she said accidents happen. I didn't hear the accidents happen part. Was she changing? All right. Okay, so here we go. Thank you so much, Cosmic Surgeon, for that. Let's give you a quick rundown of what happened yesterday. Yesterday, the prosecution began. Well, okay, before that, we had Chairgate. We don't know what happened with Chairgate. The judge said, let's get ready to bring in the jurors, and instantly one of the court clerk guys came and he took the judge's chair, just removed the judge's chair, and then he brought back a replacement chair, and the judge sat in it for like half a second, and then she just got up and walked out of the courtroom. No idea what happened. And as the next 30 minutes of nothingness unfolded, we learned that apparently one of the jurors had been involved in a traffic accident on the way to court. So court was delayed until the juror got there. Then the prosecutor gave his opening statements. It was one of the worst opening statements I've ever seen in my life. It was monotone. It was dull. It was incomprehensible. It didn't flow. It had zero structure to it. He didn't mention anything about what the elements of the crime were. He doesn't mention how she committed any of the elements of the crime. He just said, oh, she's the armorer, and there was a bunch of bullets and a lot of things went wrong. It made no sense. It was aggravating. It was frustrating, and utterly devoid of any coherency or meaning. The defense lawyer then stood up to give the opening statements for the defense. He was a little more coherent. He was more coherent. Potentially criminal Sean gave the prosecutor a C-. I gave him a D. I would give the defense counsel a solid B-. He wasn't very dynamic. He wasn't very energized, but he made very, very coherent arguments. It seems that they're laying the groundwork to argue that Halyna Gutierrez Reed was serving as both the armorer and an assistant prop manager, which is true. But she was in fact told by her superior, what's her name, Gabby Pickles, that she was not supposed to be the armorer. She only had an 8-day armorer budget, and that 8-day armorer budget was expired, and she's supposed to focus her efforts on the prop side of things. So I think he's setting up the argument to be, at the time this happened, she was no longer the armorer. She was a prop person, so you cannot hold her responsible. I think that's where they're going to go with it. They did that. They shifted a lot of the focus to Alec Baldwin was a fuck up. Sarah was a fuck up. David Halls was a fuck up. All these other people were the people that were responsible. And because of all of their negligence, they had so hampered Halyna Gutierrez that she could not have done a proper job, and that regardless of what she did, the accident would have happened anyway because everyone else made such a dog's breakfast of everything. I think that's where they're going to be going with this. And then we had we have foundational witnesses. Foundational witnesses are boring. We watched a bunch. We heard a video. We weren't allowed to see the first one because YouTube wouldn't allow it. So Court TV says, please don't show this on our feed. It was basically a video of Halyna Hutchins bleeding out and dying there, and they played that. You sort of, okay, this is the foundation that she was shot. Who was there? Who was involved? The next witness, basically the same thing. Where did they put things? And the idea is they corralled all of these witnesses together. Ordinarily, you want to separate the witnesses so that they can't talk to each other, and they can't they can't change their story. They can't all agree on what happened. You want to keep everybody separate. But the police in this case, they got everybody together in one place and made sure they couldn't leave. And the defense kind of pecked away at that, said, well, that ruins any credibility because they can match their stories. And that's where we left off. So we're gonna be doing that. And as we go through, we got a bunch of super chats. As the super chats come in, we will put them up on the screen, and then in natural breaks in the trial and whatnot, we'll read them. Super chats are not required. They're not expected. They're not grifted for, but they are always graciously and gratefully received. It's you parting with your hard-earned money, whether it's $500 or 99 cents. It's your hard-earned money that you earned with your blood, sweat, and tears, and you're supporting my channel with that, and I'm gratefully appreciative. So any super chat guarantees that your question, your comment, whatever, will get read and responded to. First, we'll flash it up, and then as soon as we can, we'll read it and address it. Otherwise, we'll go through the chat and try to pay attention and pull out interesting comments that I think are fun. And if Hayden Ozzy Overlord falls asleep and somehow unmutes himself and snores, we'll make sure he doesn't distract people, but he's here to provide commentary if and when he's awake to do so. Right. Let's read these final super chats. Then we'll finish up with yesterday's trial. Today's hearing is scheduled to start like right about now, I guess. This is supposed to be live in 2 minutes, but that was a while ago. Okay, they are in court. So we are officially behind schedule. As I said earlier, we're going to watch the remaining hour or so of yesterday at 1.25 speed or 1.5 speed if we're able. And as soon as we catch up, we'll start today's stream, and we'll do that until we actually catch up and we're in line with live. So bear with me as we do that. Let's go back to yesterday and watch the part that we didn't get to cover here on the stream. And let's see if we got a couple super chats to get out of the way real quick. I don't mean to say get them out of the way because we need to deal with them. Hey Joe said thank you so much for TGIFIF. Thank God it's F-It Friday. Thank you so much, Hey Joe. Appreciate that. Death Trout, I love that name, Death Trout. Accidents happen. The defense. Yeah, that's pretty much a good. Yeah, it was an accident. There was no negligence. That's just how it worked out. John Schmidt, Bricky's video on armies. Bricky's video on armies is a good. Okay. We're talking about the Warhammer 40K. Okay, Bricky's video on armies is a good intro into Warhammer 40K. Okay, thank you so much. I'll check out Bricky. I do not know Bricky or his or her videos, so thank you very much. Marv White with the $5. The judge made the accidents happen comment when the jury sat, somewhat joking about the juror's traffic crash that morning. Okay. That makes more sense than her having an accident. Sebastian Muller, who's been a member for 10 months. Thank you so much. 10 months. Let's make it a year. I'll hold you to that. I expect to see your 12-month membership chat 2 months from now. Thank you so much, Sebastian Muller. Let me make sure we got all these out of the way so we can jump right in with the business of today. Judgment accidents, Bricky accidents happen. TGI. Been there, done that. You have a chat. I can't bring it up. It's too far ago. Chat has scrolled on past. But been there, done that says there's a cool Warhammer store in Layton. That guy can point you in the right direction. Okay. Been there, done that is a homie of mine. We're from the same area in Utah. Thank you so much for that. Been there, done that. Appreciate that. Somehow we missed Islands is still sub. Okay, we got you there. All right, we are ready to go. So let's put us into trial mode starting right now. Let's present the stream. This is catching us up to the end of day one. Like I said, it's 7:16, 8:37. So we have just a little bit over an hour. This takes about 45 minutes, and then another 20 minutes or so to catch up with today. So within about an hour and 20 minutes, we should be caught up with today's proceedings.
I asked him. Yes.
All right. What's a crime scene log?
A crime scene log is people coming into the crime scene and we document who's there.
That's Hannah Gutierrez read right there.
Is that something that's important to do?
Yes.
Why is that important to do?
So we know who was in the scene.
All right. Why is that important?
So we could go back and the detectives could interview them and see what their involvement was on the scene.
And anyone who goes in or out is supposed to be in the log, right?
Correct.
Is that guy in the log?
I don't know. I haven't seen the log.
Okay. When did you ask Deputy Fuentes to?
And we were
start
trying to figure out who she
believe
is.
I
I
asked her
think
when
she's
he first
actually a
showed up,
defense
if I remember
lawyer.
correctly.
All right. Do you know what time he actually started then?
I do not know.
If you were to look at his report, could that refresh your recollection as to when he actually started the log?
It sure would.
Judge, if I could approach the witness.
Show Ms. Morrissey.
Thank you, Judge.
And while he's approaching the witness, Sebastian Mueller has gifted 10 Legal Vices memberships. That gets you a super foghorn. If you were one of the people that got 10 Legal Vices memberships from Sebastian Mueller, make sure you give Sebastian a super special thanks. And that gets us to our next shot. We'll do the royal salute here for this in the alien head shot. Thank you so much, Sebastian Mueller, for putting us over the edge for our second shot of the day.
Judge, do you mind if I pay for this?
Yeah.
All right, Deputy. Sorry, Lieutenant. Is that your former colleague's police report?
Yes.
All right. Having looked at it, has it refreshed your recollection as to when the log
Oh, and-
was started?
Oh my God, Sonny or Chris also gifted Legal Vices
He
memberships.
advised on his report it was started at 2:38 p.m.
5 Legal Vices memberships from Sonny or Chris. Sonny or Chris, if you got one of Sonny or Chris's or Sonia Chris's super gifted
Right,
memberships,
was-
make sure you give him a super
Maybe about a
special
half hour
thanks
after you
too.
arrived?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to pay that one forward.
Log in
Apologies for
started
you.
It should have, but the scene being so active and 3 deputies on scene, it was difficult to start that log.
He has serious Reuben Blades vibes. And we're trying to figure out what Amy Winehouse's job is. Is she a paralegal or a lawyer? We're not sure.
So I play this for you again.
I'm going to keep everything else the same. I'm going to leave with these here. What's it going to be? Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure somebody will.
Yeah, she may be a gypsy fortune teller,
Sure.
but
Deputy
she's a
Fuentes just said something to
stereotype,
this guy.
whatever she is.
About
Yes.
reaching over the tape.
Yes, as well as I.
And he didn't do that, right?
Correct.
All right. We saw later in your video, this gentleman also standing next to Deputy Fuentes, and he was actually within the tape. Do you remember that?
Let me put on the closed
I
caption.
believe I do, yes.
Okay.
There are no closed captions.
Why was he allowed inside the crime scene tape?
That might be a question for Deputy Fuentes. Should I have asked? Yes, I should have asked.
Okay, so this is the issue they're bringing up here real quickly. They put crime scene tape around the entire area, and they allowed this other guy into the crime scene. They allowed this other police officer into the crime scene. They're like, why did you let him in the crime scene? That's specifically, this tape is supposed to keep him out. And he said, I don't know, you'll have to ask him.
To why he was within the yellow tape.
You were in charge of this scene until investigations took it over, right?
That is correct, yes.
All right. So this guy was here for some time, monitored by this deputy. As the scene supervisor, are you concerned that if this gentleman reached over once over the tape and interacted with the cart, maybe he did it again?
In front of Deputy Fuentes, I don't know.
Okay. Let's talk a bit about the gun. You said when you got the gun, you made it safe. What does that mean?
I looked in the cylinders to make sure there was no ammunition inside the cylinder.
All right. And the shooting had just occurred.
Yes.
Right? So the ammunition that was within the gun would be,
It should have been still in there because it's a revolver.
yes. And it would be highly relevant evidence in this case, right?
Correct.
Now, on the video we listened to, you can hear my client Hannah talking to Mr. Dave Halls, the first assistant director, and they're talking about where that ammo is, right?
I don't know what ammo they're talking about.
What's your understanding as to where the ammunition inside of the 45 caliber gun you collected went?
I never asked that question. I do not know.
You have no idea where that ammunition is.
The one that was in the cylinder, no.
What about the other 5?
I do not know.
So he doesn't know where the live ammunition went. Because immediately
Well, that's not
after,
right.
yeah, no, like Sarah, the prop master, she threw some of the live ammunition in the garbage and they never recovered it. And I believe it was her or Hannah that pulled the rounds out of the weapon that was involved in the shooting, and nobody knows what happened to the
I know you said
round.
initially only had three deputies, but I've seen a lot of that would look like vehicles on your lapel video. Why couldn't you have sent these witnesses to go just wait in their cars and told them not to talk to anyone?
Well, the scene being so big, we tried to keep everybody corralled in one place where we could keep an eye on everybody. To send people back to their vehicles, I don't know where their vehicles were, because on a movie set there's staging areas, and I don't know if that staging area was somewhere else. I do not know.
Somebody yesterday called her a fashion catastrophe. I think she's just like the most Latina stereotype you could find in New Mexico. Alicia G, member for 7 months, is happy to be here with you all. Happy Friday.
Wrapped up.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go into redirect if he doesn't have any more questions. He's the defense lawyer. Bob has gifted 5 Legal Vices memberships. If you got one of Bob's 5 Legal Vices memberships, make sure you give Bob a super special shout out. And likewise, Aussie Overlord Hayden from his bed. In his sleep, he's gifting memberships. Thank you so much, Hayden. You're immense. You'll be a man before you're
All
married.
right, Lieutenant, I want to show you just a couple
Gifted 5 Legal Vices memberships.
specific timestamps from your video.
Give him a super special thanks. And Ryan with the $10.
What are
If
those
you get to do more
over
drinks
there?
during
Can you see on
during
the screen
trial
the
and
two
F at
vehicles
Friday, I
behind
will
your
laugh
vehicle?
maniacally and then proceed to drink
Yes, I see
work
2
with
vehicles
you.
there.
All right,
Drink
good
at work
witnesses
with
that
me.
being
Thank you.
placed there.
I don't know.
Thank you, everybody, for your support.
Can you rephrase your question, please?
All right, I'll
Is there
shut
some
up now.
reason you do not have witnesses staying in those cars?
Like I said, the fluid was big. I mean, the scene was big. We were trying to corral everybody into one place where we could watch them and tell them not to talk.
I mean, are you telling me you couldn't watch those people if they're in those vehicles?
I had hand in the back of my unit.
Okay.
See, the first witness said there was limited space, so they had to keep him together. He is saying we're on a huge open set, so there's too much space, so we have to keep them together.
Are there
That's a
several
weird
vehicles,
inconsistency.
looking straight ahead here?
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason you didn't ask to house the witnesses in those vehicles?
That's farther away from what we wanted, and we won't be able to control the scene.
She looks so much better than she did 2.5 years ago, man.
Judge, if I could just have a moment before passing the witness.
Sure.
All right, they're going to talk and go over a few things, and then they're going to turn it over to the prosecution for redirect. All right. We've got Stanley Kubrick, the defense lawyer, just gave. This is Lex Luthor. We've got Amy Winehouse over there. This is Rutger Hauer for the prosecution,
Redirect.
and he's the discount Vincent Onofrio from the guy who had the ill-fitting alien suit in Men in Black. Not Full Metal Jacket Vincent D'Onofrio. Those are the nicknames we've given to people. Jerry, he does kind of look like old Jerry Mathers, the Beaver, Beaver Cleaver. He does kind of look like Jerry Mathers now. And the best dressed, most handsome, well-groomed guy in the entire courtroom. This is the court AV guy. The court AV guy is the sharpest looking person in the courtroom.
Well, yeah, because he knows presentation matters.
And they have had nothing but AV problems from the beginning. They had to take an early lunch because there was an incompatibility with the software. They came back and they still took an additional 30 minutes. All right, here we go. Oh my God. I didn't notice the filler. That is some serious filler that Amy Winehouse has in those lips and eyebrow. All right. Amy's got some issues. But while we're stopped, D. What has gifted 5 Legal Vices memberships. Thank you so much for those 5 Legal Vices memberships. D. What, again, bringing the heat. If you got a D. What Legal Vices membership, give D. What a super special thank you.
Let's just be clear. Do you have any reason to believe that gentleman in the hat tampered with any kind of evidence?
No, I do not.
Any reason to believe that he planted any evidence?
No, I do not.
When he reached over the crime scene tape and touched that dummy round on the cart, were you there?
I was looking straight at him. Yes.
Did he plant any evidence?
No. He picked it up, shook it, and he put it back down.
Would you have noticed?
Yes.
If he planted evidence, you would have noticed?
Yes, I would have noticed. Yes.
I'm going to go through this slowly with you. Can you see, even on your video, what he is reaching into?
Yes. It's a little cubby hole and there's quite a few rounds in there.
When he shook it, did it rattle?
I do not remember.
Now, these cars that Mr. Bullion asked you about, why you don't have witnesses in these cars. Do you own those cars?
I do not own those cars, no.
Do you know who owns those cars?
I do not.
As a police officer, are you allowed just to take a witness and put them in some vehicle that you don't know who owns the car?
No, I'm not.
That's a very good point.
Have you ever done that in your entire career?
No.
Oh, and I'm just now noticing she's heavily tattooed. She's a fascinating person.
Sir,
Is she a
just to be clear,
paralegal or a lawyer?
you indicated to Mr. Bullion that your video is facing one way, but that doesn't necessarily show us what you're looking at. Is that right?
That is correct.
Do you have a full range of motion in your neck?
Yes, I do.
You don't have any injuries that would prevent you from doing that?
No.
Wow. Okay. So he can turn his head and see.
Can you think of a reason that it took a while to get the crime log started?
Just how active the scene was, and it was. I was trying to get deputies assigned. Checking on everybody, checking on the victim. I do not know.
For the first half hour that you were on scene, did you have enough personnel so that someone could start doing paperwork?
No.
Is a crime scene log paperwork?
Yes, it is.
The gun that you put in your unit, who handed it to you?
Hannah.
How many rounds of ammunition were in the cylinder when she handed it to you?
None.
Thank you, sir.
Counsel approach.
Wow, that was a very quick redirect. And now she's bringing him up to the bench to have a sidebar and talk about something. I really like Judge Sommer. She doesn't take
Excuse me.
any shit. So the witness is done.
Your Honor, just to be safe, I want to reserve Mr. Benavides, so let's give him an instruction if he needs one.
Please don't talk among the other witnesses about the case. Okay, thank you.
Now we're gonna have, I believe she's a crime lab.
And anyone to
lady.
be called as a witness in this case may not be viewing this trial live stream on Court TV.
The state will call Marissa Powell.
All right.
Now wait for Marissa to come in. There she comes. We just call her Rutger Hauer. That's the prosecution's Rutger Hauer. She's got a box and she knows how to use it. The prosecutor is Rutger Hauer. I've nicknamed this witness Philip Seymour Hoffman because she looks like Philip
You
Seymour
swear
Hoffman.
affirm under penalty of law that the testimony you'll give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, have a seat. Talk to the microphone, please.
Doesn't she look like Philip Seymour Hoffman? She does to me.
Would you state your full name?
I totally see that, yeah.
Marissa Popple, Poppell.
And how are you currently employed?
I'm a crime scene technician with the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you been a crime scene technician with the Sheriff's Office?
With them for almost 3 years now.
And were you a crime scene investigator anywhere else prior to coming to the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, I was with Fort Myers Police Department in Fort Myers, Florida for 4 years.
So total time as a crime scene investigator, what do you got?
Almost 7 years now.
How did you become involved in this case?
I was notified by my lieutenant in the Criminal Investigations Division that a shooting had occurred and we would be responding as the CID unit.
CID means
Criminal Investigation Division.
Okay. And so if you recall, approximately what time would you have arrived on scene?
I believe it was later in the afternoon that day, probably around 2 or 3 p.m.
And what's your job as a crime scene investigator or a crime scene technician? What do you do?
So I'm responsible for documenting any crime scenes, and this can be a variety of scenes, whether they be burglaries, homicides, shootings. I'm responsible for photographing any evidence, collecting that evidence, and packaging it as well.
And after you collect it and photograph it and package it, what do you do with it?
Eat it.
Depending on the circumstances of the evidence, I often am responsible for it getting sent off to the lab for further analysis if that's needed.
Did you send any of the evidence in this case off to a lab for further analysis?
Yes, several items were sent to the FBI to their crime scene lab.
Do you recall what items were sent?
If I can refer to my report, I can tell you what item numbers I have that were sent.
I think it's fine for you to refer to your report.
According to my report, items 1, 2, 3, 25,
no.
26,
Justin.
27, 140.
Hang on, I'm going to stop you. Because we don't speak crime scene technician, can you give us an idea of what those items were?
So these items were suspected
English.
live ammunition, DNA swabs that were collected from individuals, fingerprints that were collected from individuals, and additional ammunition that needed analyzed at that time.
Did you consider having fingerprints or DNA analysis done on the live rounds?
So I believe that fingerprint analysis was complete on the live rounds. However, the lab does not do DNA on any kind of ammunition, and that's a standard across most forensics labs.
Do you know why DNA isn't collected from basically what I'm going to describe as casings, brass casings?
It's just a very small likelihood of getting enough cells to have enough for a profile to be developed, which is why they won't do it.
Okay, thank you. So you couldn't actually have them take DNA off those live rounds?
Correct.
They wouldn't do it?
Yes.
Okay. They told you no?
Yes.
Did you collect all of the evidence from the scene at Bonanza Creek Ranch?
Yes, I did.
And did you get to collect evidence from other items or other locations on different dates?
Yes.
What other areas or places did you collect evidence?
I also assisted with the search warrant that was done on the prop truck at Bonanza Creek and a search warrant that was conducted at a PDQ warehouse in Albuquerque.
And do you recall when you conducted a search on the prop truck?
I believe that was the week after the incident, if I can refer to my report. The 27th of October.
And do you recall the date that you participated in the execution of the search warrant at PDQ Props?
November 30th.
And do you know who owns PDQ Props?
Seth Kinney.
All right. So let's start with some of the evidence that you gathered from the scene at Bonanza Creek. And I see that you brought a box with you. Can you go ahead and pull that box out and let's see what you've got?
And while she's opening the box, Kelly R. Oh, sorry, what was that, Hayden?
Yeah.
Phrasing.
Kelly R says, I think this part is fantastic. And D What gifted 10 Legal Vices memberships. If you got a one of the 10 Legal Vices memberships, give D What a super special shout out. And D What has put us over the edge for yet another shot. Thank you so much. That gives us our third shot of the stream. Why not? Because it's F-it Friday and we don't care. And if at some point I become too intoxicated to carry out my responsibilities as Lorax, we will do a makeup stream on Sunday. Thank you so much. All right, let's.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Who's showing box? Philip Seymour Hoffman is showing his box. Defense lawyer talking to the witness. Night 01007-01007. Thanks, D. What you rock. Member for 1 month. Thank you so much, Knight. All right, let's fast forward through Lex Luthor here.
I'm going to. All right. If you can just start.
The prosecutor talks with her glasses a lot. She's like the
objection to entering any of
the
those items?
CSI David Caruso
Okay.
glasses thing.
Okay, great. So let's start with the first one, and I will go ahead
Damn it.
and mark it as
All right.
States Exhibit 74.
Wait, I'm still wearing my F-it Friday hat. We need to switch to the good hat. There we go. But that means I have to change my headphones too. Damn it.
I have on the Elmo States Exhibit 74. Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what we're looking at?
So this is an ammunition box with a label that states 35 long Colt dummies.
35?
I'm sorry, 45. My apologies.
All right, I'm back.
And did you collect this?
Yes, I did.
Where did you collect this item from?
This box was located in Lieutenant Benavidez's vehicle.
And was it in this condition when you collected it?
It was not.
Tell us what condition it was in when you collected it.
It was fully intact with a foam insert and rounds inside of it.
Okay, great, thank you. Let's go ahead and have a look at States Exhibit 75.
I get all of my hats from Miller Hats in Texas. All of my cowboy hats come from Miller Hats in Texas. When Ozzy and I went to Houston, we brought Ozzy over there, and Ozzy got a couple of hats.
This is
from
the
Miller
foam
Hats
insert
as
that was
well.
inside of that ammunition box.
I was going to say, likewise, I get all of my cowboy hats from Miller Hats.
When you collected it, what did it have in it?
It had multiple ammunition rounds in it.
Okay. Let's have a look at State's Exhibit 76.
And this is all foundational evidence. They have to go through all of this. This is what we found. I found it. I analyzed it. I did this. This is just, they're introducing
Tell us
all
what
of the
State's Exhibit
evidence.
76 is.
This is a 4440 dummy round.
Do you know where it came from?
This was inside the foam insert in the ammunition box.
How do you know it's a dummy round?
When you shake it, you hear ball bearings inside of the round.
Elton.
Can everybody hear that?
Oh, she does look a little like Elton John. Okay. Whoa. Oh, wait a minute. I have a problem with what just happened. I have a problem with that. Watch this.
Can everybody hear that?
There should have been an object. I mean, okay, maybe it's just not important enough, but that is a lawyer testifying. That lawyer is testifying right there. She is acting as a witness. You can hear it. You hear this rattling, right? That is not her place. That should have been an objection. Lawyers giving testimony. But I mean, maybe it's not a big thing. It's minor, but she shouldn't have done that. She's essentially testifying.
State's Exhibit 77.
Yeah, the jury can physically inspect most evidence.
What are we looking at here?
This is a 45 dummy round that has been deconstructed by the FBI.
And what's in the little plastic container?
So that is the ball bearing that was inside of this round.
Okay, so this is just an example of what that looks like when you take it apart.
Yes.
Tell us here. Let me get State's Exhibit 78.
And while she's doing that, Leafy Fifi Foo says, but CSI can recreate a shattered bullet, find a fingerprint on it, and pull DNA. Are you saying TV lied to me? One of my dear friends. Okay, I'll tell you the story
This is a
later.
45 dummy round, but instead of having a ball bearing inside of it, has a hole drilled through the side of it to distinguish it as a dummy round.
Another way to
So
kill a dummy.
when you
round.
shake this dummy round, does it rattle?
No.
And the dummy rounds that rattle, do they have holes in the side?
No.
So it either has a hole in the side or it rattles.
Yes.
Okay. State's Exhibit 79.
And while she's doing that, like I said, one of my dear friends, he was the head NCIS investigator here in Korea for the Navy. And he hated NCIS because he's like, God damn it, they have all this super high-tech stuff. And I said, I have a notebook and a
This is
pen.
a 45 live round that was located inside of that same ammo box.
How do you know it's a live round?
Inside the plastic cylinder is all of the gunpowder that the FBI forensics lab took out when they deconstructed the round.
Can you see that?
Yes.
I know it's hard because of the glare. There, that's a little bit better.
Those are some jacked
What
up
is that
hands.
silver thing on the top? Do you know what that's called?
That would be the primer.
And is it silver or nickel?
Yes, it's silver.
State's Exhibit 80.
All right. Well, she's whispering sweet nothings.
Located in Lieutenant.
All right. Never mind.
What is State's Exhibit 80?
This was the other box of ammunition that was located in Lieutenant Benavidez's vehicle.
Did you personally inspect what was in that box?
Yes.
And what is that box full of?
Each of these rounds is a blank round, meaning instead of a projectile on the head, they have kind of a crimped end to them.
Okay, thank you. State's Exhibit 81.
Tammy F says this episode of Legal Vices was not sponsored by Miller Hats. No, it wasn't. They didn't seem too interested in giving Hayden or I, sponsorships. Because Stevie Nicks,
we tried.
Like Stevie Nicks buys our
81.
hats.
What are we
For,
looking
you know, we don't
This
need
is a
you.
4440 dummy round that was taken out of a box marked 3840.
And what does 4440 mean if you know?
That would be the caliber of the round.
So is a 4440 different than a 45?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what we marked as State's Exhibit 82. What's that?
This is a 3840 taken out of that same box marked 3840.
This is a 3840.
Yes.
It was in the box marked 3840.
Yes.
And what else was in the box?
4440s.
And where were the 3840 dummy rounds found?
I believe they were in a bag in the prop truck.
Okay. And inside the bag, were they just loose?
They were in an ammo box in the bag.
Did you find 3840
Popcorn,
dummy rounds
no.
in any other location?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Does it rattle?
Yes.
How do we know? How do we know it rattles? Show us that it rattles. Prove it.
States Exhibit 83.
Oh. Such exhibit, sure. Popcorn Power says, how well will those hats hold up in the rain and sunshine off your head in your streaming room? Well, I used to have like these really bright LED garish lights and it would shine off my head. So I started wearing my hats in the house, but now I have really super
This is
professional
a 45 dummy
lights.
round taken
But
from
now
a box
it's an
of ammunition
affectation
located
at
in
this
the prop
point.
truck.
Alec Baldwin will not be a witness. No.
I'm going to show you what we've previously looked at, that is States Exhibit 78. And I don't know how well you can see because of the glare, but folks will be able to actually look at them. Is there a difference between 78 and 83 visibly? Can you tell them apart?
There is. Can I see the bottoms of them as well?
Exactly.
And-
Can I
and-
see
and
the
let me ask
bottoms
you,
of them? That's a good point. Just from this picture, where do we go? Just from this picture, can you see the difference? That's a poor question. That's a false question, because we can't see the front. We can't see the primer. We can't see. Is there a hole on the other side that we can't see? That question: is there any physical difference? We need to see it from all angles. So. Kudos to the state's witness for holding the prosecution, for holding their feet to the fire and saying, "Can I see the ends of them?" So that lends to the credibility of the state's witness, that she didn't just say, "No, you can't tell any difference from them just by looking at it." She was at least going through the motions to say, "Let me see it from all sides."
Can I see the bottoms of them as well?
Yeah, and let me ask you, let me back up for a moment. The box that 83 came out of, how many other rounds were in that box, if you recall?
There were 17 rounds in total in that box.
And what color primers did all of those have?
Silver.
And was there any other distinguishing characteristics about those dummy rounds compared to the other ones? I'm not talking about projectile.
They all had a patine to them, so almost a discoloration, so they were made to look old.
Nick
And when you say
Star
that, are
of
you
Trial
talking
Watch has
about
just
brass
rated
was
us.
actually a
Welcome,
different
Nick
color?
Raiders.
Okay.
Hit that
and
like button.
Those,
Hit it.
the dummy rounds that you found, that you collected, that had that patine to them,
It's a
did
patina,
they
not a
all have
patine.
silver primers?
Sorry. Yes.
Did you find any other dummy rounds on set other than the ones that have the patine to them?
God damn
that
it,
had
stop saying
silver
patine.
primers, dummy rounds?
I'm sorry. You're asking if there were any other dummy rounds that had a silver primer to them?
Other than the ones that had the patine?
No.
So only the patine colored dummies.
Patine, there's an A at the end. Patine, not patine. It's not a fucking Canadian French fries with gravy on it. It's not a poutine. It's a patina. Patine,
Had silver primers.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I've been triggered by that. I hate when people do that. Or they call it a patina. Patina and patine. That just sends me over the damn edge.
How about States Exhibit 84?
Exactly, Cody. Delicious, says John Bear. All right. Prosecution talking to Philip Seymour Hoffman.
All right. States
Rutger
Exhibit
Hauer.
84.
All right, there we go.
What is that?
So this is another 45 a dummy round with a silver primer.
And is it patine?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what is State's Exhibit 83. It's a little hard to see through the plastic, but is there a difference between 83 and 84?
No, they are both patined.
Is there a difference in the projectile?
One projectile is slightly larger than the other, right on the nose area.
And
Unknown
when you're
Hero
looking
says
at
she says
those,
patina
when
like
they're not in
Borat
plastic,
says
Can you
vagine.
tell that pretty easily?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Unhung Hero. You made me laugh.
And just for completeness, State's Exhibit 85, what are we looking at there?
This is another 45 dummy round taken from that same box that has been deconstructed by the FBI.
And we can see that there were BBs inside of it.
Yes,
All right, so prior to it being deconstructed,
it would rattle.
it would rattle.
Oh, I forgot to put up a
Do you
survey.
have
We'll do
State's
that.
Exhibit
We'll put up a
86?
poll. Welcome back, Hayden.
Not sure what happened there.
We're going to do our first guilty or not guilty poll. All right, let me put this up here. Oops, I almost super chatted
I'm
myself.
showing you what we've marked as State's Exhibit 86. Can you tell us what that is?
This is a 45 dummy round. On the side of it, it has a hole drilled into it, and there is no primer on it.
Let me see if I can manipulate this so we can see what we're looking at. Is that the hole you're referring to?
Yes,
And you indicated that it does not have a primer?
correct.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, where we would normally see a primer, instead it has a hole.
There's a hole, no primer. That is a dummy round.
So how many different kinds of dummy rounds in terms of characteristics that would enable someone to distinguish them from a live round, how many different kinds did you find on set?
There were a few on set, and there's the ones that rattle. There are ones with holes drilled into the side, and there are ones with holes drilled into the side that do not have a primer.
Now, are you familiar with revolvers and the way that revolvers work?
Yes,
If a revolver is loaded with rounds, can you see the hole in the side
no.
when you look at the revolver?
If you are looking at it from the angle of you've loaded the cylinder, no, you won't be able to see the side of the rounds.
Okay, fair question, I guess.
What can you see?
You can see the primer area.
So if a gun was loaded with number 86, would you be able to tell that it had dummy rounds in it without taking them out of the cylinder?
Yes.
What would a bullet do if it didn't have a primer, even if it had gunpowder inside?
There would be no reaction because there'd be nothing for it, the hammer to hit, the firearm to hit.
It wouldn't fire, right?
Correct.
And State's Exhibit 87. What's that?
So this is a different type of dummy round that was located. It's a 45, but it's actually made as a replica round. You can see where there was a hole drilled in the side and then it was filled in.
And
612 people here, 375
Can you see
likes.
the
Hit
hole
that
that's
like
filled in right
button,
there?
subscribe, and take our like and
Yes.
subscribe poll
Is that
we
what you're
just put
talking
up.
Yes.
does it rattle?
No, it does not.
How do you
And
know?
it doesn't have a hole in the side because it's been filled in, right?
Correct.
What does the primer look like?
See, I don't like this. Does it rattle? How do we know? She didn't rattle it. She didn't show us. She just said, well, why the fuck should we believe her?
The primer is intact and is brass, but it does have a shine to it, almost like there was a resin polish put over it.
Is that the primer right there?
Yes, it is.
So if it doesn't rattle and
Okay,
it
now
doesn't
she's
have a hole in
showing.
the side and it isn't missing a primer, how do you know it's a dummy round?
So even when a live round is shaken, you can hear the powder inside of it move. So this round in particular makes absolutely no sound when you shake it.
Okay. What else do you have there? Let's look at 88, State's Exhibit.
This is how
88.
Calabrese Italian works. Mozzarella, ricotta cheese, manigotti, pasta, etc. Wow, okay.
Ma'am, when you were participating in the execution of the search warrant on the prop truck, Did you locate a lever action rifle?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what does that have to do with anything?
Was law enforcement able to easily clear it, meaning make it safe?
No,
Why not?
we were not able to unload it on scene because the firearm appeared to be jammed somehow. So it was taken back to our office for our firearms certified individuals to handle.
And do you know what kind of ammunition that lever action rifle is supposed to take?
Yes, it's supposed to take 44 40s.
And the ammunition that was taken out of that lever action rifle, did you collect it?
Yes,
And do we have it here as 88 and 89?
yes.
Patton X. That's
I'm going
funny.
to show you what we've marked as State's Exhibit 89.
All right. While we're showing that, I'll just mention we are $7 away from
So
our
these are
next
the
super
three
chat.
44 40 rounds that were inside of the rifle.
And
Having
are
our
they
next
double rounds?
Yes.
shot. $7 away
And
from our
do you
next shot.
see any distinguishing characteristics that you can see from the outside to let you know that it's a 44-40 and not 45?
So the 44 40s have almost an elongation to their casing area. So you can see where they slightly tighten up in one area and then continue upwards. So yes, right where you're pointing.
Lever. Well, we'll give her lever. That doesn't trigger me as much as
And did you say that you
Patine.
found a 45 in there or not yet?
I don't remember.
Okay. What is State's Exhibit 88?
It is a 45 dummy round that was located inside that same rifle.
Do you notice anything different about this dummy round than the other ones?
It's got a patine.
There
on it.
is some damage done to the projectile head of this round where it was forcefully removed from the rifle.
What?
Does a 45 caliber dummy, does it fit in that lever action rifle?
It does not fit in a 44 40 rifle.
Ooh, Stan Rogers reference. Messi Maradona 86 with a great Stan. Lever, Johnny, lever. Hey, that's a great song from Stan Rogers. Nice, Messi.
Is that the last item?
Yes, it is.
Lynn with a $10 super sticker. The Good Luck Fox, or is that a Sheena Ibu? I'm not sure. Thank you so much for the $10. That triggers the next shot.
I'm not
Thank
going
you
to
so
go down
much.
but for right now, what is State's Exhibit
And D, what
90?
cheers?
So this is a shoulder holster that was located inside of the building.
A
Do
shoulder.
you know which actor used this prop?
Yes, this belonged to Alec Baldwin.
You
Thank you,
collected
D.
this from
What,
the
for the
scene?
cheers. Appreciate it. Love you.
You took a
brother.
whole lot of photos, right?
Yes.
We're going to switch over to pictures from Elmo.
Elmo's the overhead projector. Elmo is a brand of overhead projector. They've been called Elmo since the company existed back in the day. Even if you go back to like 95 and watch the O.J. Simpson trial, they refer to the Elmo. That's just, like I said, it's the brand name for the overhead projector.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. Reset the super chat clock. Are you saying patine is actually a thing, Jay Ryan? Patine is a painted patina. Patina is natural patine. Or patine really? Don't make me be wrong. Don't make me be wrong. I hate apologizing. What is a patine? Fuck me.
And now we have to look it up. Good job.
And-
Without objection, I would ask the court to admit State's Exhibits 3 through 73.
Stage 3 through 73 are admitted.
I'm not seeing that definition anywhere.
Thank you, sir.
Patine, to coat an object with a patina, either from natural oxidation or similar aging.
I'm showing you what has been admitted as State's Exhibit 3. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What is that?
This is the
Ruh-roh.
prop truck that was located outside of the main building of the scene.
You said prop truck.
Oh, I apologize. Prop cart.
Okay. And is this the condition it was in when you took your photo?
Yes.
Did you inspect this cart and remove items from it?
Yes, I did.
Would you describe the level of organization associated with this cart?
There were multiple rounds of multiple caliber all over the top portion of this cart and additional boxes of rounds on the bottom part of this cart.
And were there also just other items?
Damn it, I have to apologize. They know more than the Lorax. Patine is apparently a thing. To coat with a patina. A patine is to coat an object with a patina, either from natural oxidation or simulated aging. Damn it. It's a thing. I apologize from the bottom of my law rack's heart. I thought they were stupid, when in reality, I was the stupid one. Is patina a verb? Is patine a verb? It is yes, to coat with a patina, to patine something, but it is also a noun. No, patina is the noun. To patine something is a verb. We win. She was using it like a noun. Fuck her. She's wrong. Alcohol may be taking my brain.
Yes, there were plastic guns.
We are right. To patine something. To patine something is to coat it with a patina, or either natural or fake. As a noun, it is patina. We win. We totally win on that.
Gotcha, bitch.
All right, let's go.
Gun belts, earplugs, miscellaneous paperwork.
Oops.
Yes, Patine was a general in World War II, and he's also the current president of Russia.
Is that just another photograph of that same prop cart?
Yes, just at a different angle.
And what are we looking at there?
Here we can see the spent cartridge casing that was located on top of the cart, as well as additional ammunition that was located there.
Okay. And that spent casing that we're looking at, you collected it from the cart.
Yes.
And did you send it to the FBI?
Yes.
Thank you. States Exhibit 5. What is this?
Let's go totally not a Russian bot. That's funny, but there's no way I'm putting that on
a different
screen.
angle of the top of the cart.
I'm going to zoom in.
To patine or not to
Can you see that
patine?
right
That's
there?
just the question.
What is
Whether
that
it's
on the lower
nobler in
right-hand corner?
mind to suffer the
It is,
slings
an
and
ammunition
arrows.
round.
Not in any particular box.
Not in any box, no.
States Exhibit 7. What's that?
This is, again, the top of the cart and one of the firearms that was located on top of the cart. I believe this was the one with a blocked cylinder, so it was not a functional firearm.
So this was not the gun that was used in this incident?
No.
And States Exhibit 8. Is that just a close-up?
Yes.
And what is this? This is States Exhibit 9. What are we looking at?
This is the firearm that was used in this incident after it had been collected and put into an evidence box.
And this is the firearm that was sent to the FBI?
Yes.
That's a pretty
States
weapon.
Exhibit
So
10,
is
what's
that.
this?
That's
This was
pretty.
the rifle that we were required to bring back to the office to safely unload.
This is the one that was jammed.
Yes.
States Exhibit 11.
These were the rounds that were removed from the rifle. Again, there are 3 44-40s and 1 45.
Do you know why this round here seems to have a shorter projectile than the others?
The 44-40s all had more square tops, and I would assume
Sure. Yeah, no worries. I'll
Right.
withdraw that.
Right.
Let's go to
Good
States
objection
Exhibit 12.
speculation. I would assume no.
this is a close-up.
If you
of the
assume you're
45 round that was
speculating.
removed from the rifle.
Is that the damage that you were talking about?
Yes.
States Exhibit 13. What's this?
This is a close-up of the bottom of that same round.
And States Exhibit 14.
This is a close-up of the bottom of the 44-40 rounds.
And can you see here on the head stamp, does it say?
It says 44-40.
Thank you. States Exhibit 15. What's this?
This was all of the ammunition that was loose and not in boxes that was located on top of the cart.
And the rounds on top, what are those?
Those are all blank rounds, and they can be distinguished by that crimped end instead of having a projectile.
And these rounds over here on the left, if you recall, were those dummies or not?
If I can refer to my report.
Sure.
So I believe these two
I like
rounds
that. Nice.
were dummy 45 rounds that rattled when shaken.
And what about these two
Shaken,
rounds over
not
here on the
stirred.
right-hand side?
These two rounds were later, I apologize. These two rounds were sent to the FBI because they were suspected live rounds, which the FBI confirmed.
So these two rounds here, this picture was taken before they were sent to the FBI.
Correct.
And these turned out to be live rounds,
Yes.
meaning real bullets.
Yes.
And what's this one down here?
This is a dummy 45 round with a hole drilled in the side.
And these were just loose on the prop cart?
Yes.
And I'm going to skip through some of the close-ups. That was States Exhibit 16, 17, States Exhibit 18. Is this a close-up of something?
This is a close-up of the two live rounds.
And what is this a picture of?
The bottoms of those same rounds with silver primer.
State's Exhibit 20.
These are the other two dummy rounds that were located on the truck, on the cart.
Do you see a difference? Well, have a look at the projectile of these rounds. And then this is 20. I'm gonna go back to 18. Do you see a difference?
On the live rounds, they appear to have a larger nose, so a wider nose area.
Did you measure those?
Yes,
And what's the diameter of that nose, that flat surface?
6 millimeters.
What's the diameter of the projectile, the tip of the projectile on State's Exhibit 20?
4 millimeters.
Okay, interesting. 2 millimeter
Just more
difference.
close-ups. I'm just going through here.
I can see the argument that the prosecution's going for here.
Do you recall what that was?
Yeah.
I do not.
I'm not sure that I'm keen on it
and
though.
State's Exhibit 25. What's this?
This was the spent round located on top of the cart.
And what is State's Exhibit 26?
The bottom of that round, where you can see the silver primer.
Why was this empty casing sent to the FBI?
To determine if it had been fired from the firearm that we had in custody.
Okay. And we'll have other folks speak to that. State's Exhibit 27. Can you tell me what we're looking at here?
This is a close-up of one of the gun belts.
Where was this gun belt collected from?
I believe this gun belt was on top of the cart.
The prop cart?
Yes.
Were any of these rounds sent to the FBI?
Yes.
Okay, we're almost
The
done
one
with
with the silver
yesterday. Then
primer.
we'll start with today and we'll catch
Did
up
that turn out
very
to be a live
quickly.
round?
Yes.
Do you recall what actor used that gun belt?
I believe this belt was assigned to Jensen Ackles.
And let's look at State's Exhibit 27A. What is this a photo of?
This was ammunition that was located from the top of the cart.
Is it the same ammunition that came from that belt?
Yes.
Okay. And why do you have it separated out like this?
So this ammunition was separated out based on its physical description. So we have ammunition at the top, that's 45s with brass primers. We have one round by itself, which was 45 with a silver primer, and one round by itself, which was 45 with a hole drilled through the side.
So all of these turned out to be dummies except this one here on the left.
Correct.
State's Exhibit 28, what's this?
This was a fanny pack that was located on top of that same cart.
State's Exhibit 29, what is this a picture of?
This is a close-up of the inside of that bag.
And what are those things we're looking at?
I believe all of these rounds that we're looking at now were blank rounds that were found in the bag.
Okay. And did this bag have more than one pocket?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 30, what are we looking at here?
This is another pocket in this pack containing blank rounds.
And State's Exhibit 31.
Another pocket in the same bag with blank rounds inside.
And State's Exhibit 32.
This is inside that bag with a dummy round 45 with a hole drilled through the side of it.
Let me ask you, how many dummy rounds altogether did you collect from that crime scene?
I believe, as far as dummy rounds go, I believe I have 255.
And does that include the prop cart?
Yes.
Of those 255, approximately how many were not located in a box and not located on a gun belt?
I would
Living
say
in a
probably around
box,
50.
living in a cardboard
So
box.
those 50 rounds, were they just loose in different places?
Yes.
Where were some of the places that you found loose rounds?
They were found loose in the bottom of boxes, loose inside of the prop truck, just on the floor. Pretty much any boxes that were located. If there were ammo boxes inside of it, there were loose rounds also underneath the ammo boxes.
All right. State's Exhibit 33. I think these are close-ups. We can go through them quickly. 33 and 34, can you see what that is?
Yes, this is a close-up of that dummy round that has a hole drilled through the side.
Okay. State's Exhibit 35.
This is the bottom of that dummy round where the primer has been removed.
So this is a dummy round that was taken out of that fanny pack.
Yes.
State's Exhibit 36. What is this a photo of?
This is a close-up of one of the gun belts.
Let's talk about this one for a moment. What actor was using this holster as a prop?
This holster was assigned to Alec Baldwin.
And are we looking in this picture at all of the rounds that were located in that gun belt?
Yes.
I see that on the left, we have 2 rounds with silver primers. I'm going to ask you about the first one. This first round that my pointer is on, was that a dummy round?
Yes.
Why is this a different color than the other rounds?
This round had that patine wear look to it that we had previously seen.
So the dummy rounds with the patine looked like this from the top.
Yes.
This round right here next to it.
Okay, so all of this is they're laying the foundation to
What'd that
say
round
you.
be?
That turned out to be a live round.
But
And
this
these
is
three
weird.
here.
Really quickly, this is kind of weird because this seems like almost an argument the defense would make. Everything looks so close to each other that it's kind of difficult to tell them apart. I know they're trying to say that they look different so you can tell them apart, but it's almost coming across as it's technically difficult to tell them, which it isn't.
Well, see, I disagree because I think the reason they're making that argument is that they're trying to show that just how negligent she was then by leaving ones that look similar lying around.
Yeah, I mean, true, but my intellectually, I know they're saying, look, it's easy to tell the difference, but then they go, look how similar these are. But so if they're going to say she left them around, but they're also saying it's very difficult to tell. Like you have to send them to the FBI to figure out if they're dummies or live rounds.
Yeah, but I mean, I think what they're trying to get at is that if they're so similar that they have to be sent to the FBI to be checked, that the simple fact of the matter is her leaving ammo lying around where pretty much anyone could have had access to it without her knowledge as the armorer, she had ultimate responsibility for that. And therefore, that's how they're saying she's negligent. And basically, to me, it's not necessarily that this is going to link her to the shooting. I think this is more just establishing she was poor at her job to try and implicate her.
Sean Bird says, Aussie Overlord, you're failing to realize Jeff is dumb. No, but what I'm saying is like, okay, let's take everything you just said as read. But so what they're saying is, she was negligent in leaving these things that look so similar around, but they're that similar. How would she have been able to tell? Which is an argument I think the defense would make. They should be saying, look, these are so clearly distinguishable from each other that there's no way she could have been confused. She was just a fuckwit who wasn't paying attention and didn't do her job. So therefore she let these clearly different rounds on set. It's
right.
striking me as weird.
I'm not saying that it's the best argument that's ever been put forward. That's what I said before, is that I can understand the argument that they're going for, but I don't think that I like it. And I agree with you. I think that it's probably an argument that the defense should be making.
Yeah, I mean, at best, it's really confusing. But we've only got a few more minutes here. Then we'll go on to today's trial.
These three rounds to the right, what did those turn out to be?
Two of those were 44-40 rounds, and one of them was a 45 dummy round with ball bearings inside.
Were they all dummy rounds?
All three of these, yes.
Okay. The only live round that was
Oh,
found.
see, down. I'm saying that it is actually very easy to tell the difference, and she should have known. She should have inspected every single round that went in a belt, every single round that went into a gun. But the prosecution is saying it's very difficult to tell the difference. And I think they're making a mistake by saying it's difficult to tell the difference. They should be saying it's so easy to tell the difference. Even a fucking moron can tell the difference. But she didn't. And she was negligent because she let these live rounds that are so easily distinguishable from blank rounds and dummy rounds. There's no way they could have been confused by anyone with an IQ over 39. But instead, they're making this argument that it's so very difficult to tell. And somehow that made her negligent. I just don't like it. But I mean, I see what everybody's saying, and I'm saying exactly what everybody else is saying. It's easy to see. She should have been able to see it. She didn't. So that's her negligence. But the prosecution is going about it in a really weird way. And speaking of things in a really weird way, it's Nick Starov. Hey Nick Starov, what's up?
Hey, how are you doing?
All right. Let's assume the position. Yeah, go ahead.
The other thing as well was because they brought up the rifle. I purely think this is just they're trying to show her having done a really poor job because she couldn't tell the difference between the two ammo that they tried to put in the rifle. She had the what was it, 40s and then the 45, and because they had to take it all the way back to the office in order to remove the jammed ammo. I think purely that was to show that she was crap at her job, because she actually put ammunition into a rifle that did not fit. So I think they're leaning very hard into she was inept, she was negligent, and therefore, as a result of that negligence, this shooting occurred.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would put that on her employer, because you as an employer have a responsibility to all your employees to have them safe. And if you clearly can see this person is incompetent, it's your responsibility as an employer to remove that person from that area.
Well,
Hi, by the way. I do labor law. Do you notice?
Yeah. So, all right, we've got about 5 more minutes. Then we're going to start with today's testimony.
Found in Mr. Baldwin's holster is this one right here.
Yes.
And you sent that to the FBI?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 37, what is this?
This is a different view of that same holster.
Is this the live round right here?
Yes.
I want you to look at this projectile. Is this projectile different than this one to the right?
Yes.
And is it different than the one next to that one?
Yes.
And is it different than this one?
Yes.
How is it different than this one?
The one that your pointer is on right now has a more elongated nose to it, which makes it a smaller nose width.
And what's the measurement of that nose width?
4 millimeters.
And this round over here on the far left, can you see a difference between this projectile and this projectile?
Yes.
And what's that?
The projectile on the far left has almost a crimping around the base of it.
I want to ask you about all of the suspected live rounds that you found on set and sent to the FBI. Did they all look like this one?
Yes.
Did they all have silver primers?
Yes.
Did they all have the same head stamp?
Yes.
What is that head stamp?
It states 45 Colt and has a Starline Brass logo.
And did they all have the same shape projectile?
Yes.
Did they all have the same color brass?
Yes.
Meaning they were not patine.
Correct.
State's Exhibit 38. What are we looking at here?
These are those same rounds from the holster, removed from the holster.
So we just get a better view of the casing.
Correct.
All right. State's Exhibit 39.
This was a gun belt that was located inside of the prop truck.
And what kind of rounds were in this belt?
If I can refer to my report.
Sure.
In this belt were 22 45 Colt rounds with ball bearings inside and 1 Spain Denix replica round.
And do we have the Spain Denix replica round here in evidence?
Yes.
And all of the rounds in this gun belt, did they all have the patine color?
Yes.
And were any of them found to be live?
No.
State's Exhibit 40.
These are those same rounds removed from the gun belt.
Thank you. State's Exhibit 41.
This is a close-up of the silver primer on the rounds.
What's State's Exhibit 42?
This was a box of ammunition collected from the prop truck.
Is this the condition it was in when you collected it?
Yes.
No, I was just looking at my
State's
phone.
Exhibit 43. What's this?
This is a close-up of
I got
a
like
different
tw-
box located.
I got like 20 messages
And
like in the
what's in
last
all those
couple of
white
minutes.
boxes?
It was just my family
different types of
Snapchat.
ammunition.
And what's this here?
I believe it was a Red Bull.
A Red Bull.
What's State's Exhibit 44?
Guilty.
This was a Mary Kay bag that was located in the prop truck.
Oh my God, they're keeping bullets in a Mary Kay cosmetics bag. Oh, for fuck's sakes. And it's all 777. You know, that's just 111 away from 666. It's the Satan armor. It's the devil's armorer.
And what's in these white boxes?
Various types of ammunition.
And we can see some brass things down here in this little pocket. Do you know
If you
what
sell
those
10,000
I believe
rounds
those
of
are
ammunition,
links.
do you get a pink Cadillac from Mary Kay? That's my question.
are? And we'll go through these quickly. State's Exhibit 44A.
This was a close-up of the ammunition.
You get a pink handgun for every
What do we see over
1,000
here?
rounds you sell.
Where your arrow cursor is.
Yeah.
I believe this is spent blank rounds.
And were they just loose in the bag?
Yes.
D What gifted 1 Legal Vices membership. If you got Legal Vice membership from D What, give him a super special shout out and thanks. Thank you so much, D What. You're a man. All right, let's fast forward through here. I think they're gonna wrap it up. Yep.
Please don't talk among yourselves or anyone else about the evidence received here.
They're wrapping that up today. Real quick here, we've been going for an hour and 19 minutes. We're gonna start today's hearing right now. But before we do that, really quick, let me get Bifrons off the air here. Has that been up there for a long time? You could treat it like any other trip to the range and be doing better. I think it's been up there for a while. Nicholas Starov.
Hi.
Howdy. Good
Howdy.
afternoon to you, sir, in Sweden.
Yeah, it's almost 6 p.m. over here. And yeah, I'm hoping.
Are you in the 24 hours of darkness phase of life now, or what?
No, we are getting close to even.
Okay.
So yeah, so sunrise is about 7 a.m. and it's down right about now.
7 a.m. You mean 7 p.m.?
No, 7 a.m. sunrise.
Okay. Yeah.
5:30 p.m. Sundown.
Yeah. Okay. This is Nicholas Starov, Trial Watch. He watches trials. He's hanging out here today for a little bit before he does his own stuff. We're glad to have him here. It's evening time there where he's at, right about sundown. And Hayden, Aussie Overlord, make sure you go to both Nick Starov, Trial Watch, and Aussie Overlord Hayden. Subscribe to them. Hayden is fighting sleep probably on his sofa at 4 a.m.
I was going to say, I might actually take this opportunity to tap out because, yeah, it's 3:45 in the morning and I would actually like to get some sleep. So
Get some sleep.
Yeah.
I'll probably be listening. But thanks so much for having me. And guys, Jeff's still way too sober for this. So, you know, have at it. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, Hayden, for being here. Have a great night. All right, I'm bringing up today's stream. So now we are joining today's stream in progress. We're going to watch it again at 1.5 speed until we catch up to where we should be, which shouldn't take too long. So here we are. Let's embiggen it, and the exit sign.
Yeah. Now I'm hoping the contract will actually, so I can see it and do an evaluation. Because for you who don't know, I do labor law. I handle employers, contractors, stuff like that, and contracts. That's my day-to-day job. So this is my wheelhouse. If that contract comes to play, because it's all about the wordings in it. It's all about the wordings in it.
And that's why we bring our experts in. And real quickly here, D1, I'm not sure if we did your Legal Vices memberships. If I didn't, make sure if you got one of his Legal Vices memberships about 15 minutes ago, you gave him a super special thanks. We did D1. And Adara the Wholesome, the attorney without her glasses, looks like she is named Chet. Lives in LA, wears a seashell necklace, and surfs on the weekends, but only casually. That is oddly specific. Let's go. Totally not a Russian bot says, what the hell is all this shit? I don't know. It's just what we're doing. We're watching the trial. All right. With that out of the way, and just for giggles, we're like $70 away from the next shot. We'll just keep it going. Let's fast forward until. Oh, go ahead, talk.
Yeah, my chat forced me to do the Wheel of Regrets.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was habanero sauce.
Oh, cool! I just got my favorite shipment of. It's like scorpion pepper Tabasco sauce. It's like 10 times hotter than normal Tabasco sauce. And I quite enjoy it.
Mm. Yeah, I have one of these too. This is 50% scorpion, Maruga scorpion, and a bunch of other stuff in it. Yeah.
If you can get the scorpion Tabasco sauce, it's actually really good.
Mm.
It's kind of my upper limits of my comfort level with spicy foods. All right, we're starting out. Okay, let's bring up the closed captions. And we got a sidebar here. She looks so much better than she did during her police interrogations.
Yeah.
Oh, she's got. I don't think she had those tattoos 2 years ago. I don't recall seeing those tattoos on her arm. She must have got some fresh tats. How's Amy Winehouse dressed today? Rutger Hauer has to move so we can see Amy Winehouse behind him.
That was located, I think, in the prop truck. Do you remember?
All right, and we have the same witness continuing with her testimony. So I just need to do
Oh.
a couple of little adjustments to our scrolling banner here. But in the meantime, Rutger Hauer will question Philip Seymour Hoffman about some criminologist stuff.
For that?
Yes.
Okay, so
And there is audio in only one ear, so it's not
Sorry.
me, it's them.
yesterday we were discussing a Mary Kay bag that was located in the prop truck. Do you recall that?
Yes.
So let's go ahead and continue there.
Oh, thank you.
I am showing you what we've marked as State's Exhibit 44A. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
And what is this a photo of?
This is a close-up of what's inside that Mary Kay bag.
I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. What are these over here on the right?
Those are spent blank rounds.
Okay. And what are we looking at here?
This,
Oh, I'm sorry. This one is 44B. I apologize.
All right,
Yeah.
people, I think the court is a little quiet. I'm going to,
this is an overall view of
There.
what's inside that Mary Kay bag.
how does that
Okay.
sound? Chat, let me know
And
how
so
this
were there
sounds. How's our
things
balance?
underneath
We should
these
be
boxes?
slightly louder than the
Yes.
court.
And what was underneath the boxes?
I believe there were additional rounds underneath
Dun,
those
dun,
boxes.
dun.
And do you know what we're looking at here on the side?
This is the outside pocket of that Mary Kay bag.
Okay, and I'm sorry, this is State's Exhibit 45.
That's a toothbrush.
Maybe I need another cup of coffee.
A toothbrush mixed with shell cases.
I'm showing you State's Exhibit 46. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
And what's that?
This is the inside of that bag. Once
Oh, I'm
those,
not sped up. Thank you so much for
ammunition
mentioning
boxes
that.
were removed, where you can see loose rounds.
All right, thank you.
Now we are.
And State's Exhibit, excuse me, 47. What are we looking at here?
This is the middle portion of that bag.
Okay. And do you recognize State's Exhibit 48?
Yes.
And what is this?
This is a box of ammunition marked as dummy rounds 45 LC that was removed from that Mary Kay bag.
And State's Exhibit 48A, do you recognize this?
Yes.
And what are these?
This is the foam insert containing dummy rounds that was removed from that box.
And how many rounds altogether, if you recall, were in there?
17.
Okay, thank you. State's Exhibit 49, do you recognize that?
These are those same rounds removed from the foam insert and laid out.
Okay. And
Well, she's
what's the
talking about
round that you have there
Deep
by
what
itself
with
up at the top?
$100 super chat.
That round that's moved
Thank you so
sideways
much.
posted a concern
Cheers
at
to you,
first
bro. Thank
because
you
it was not making
so
any
much.
noise with ball bearings inside like the rest of the rounds were.
Is this the
We
same
do our
Dentix
shot.
round that we admitted into evidence yesterday?
It is not.
It is not. Okay.
Oh,
This
wait,
is
it's
just
big.
a round that was in that box that didn't shake.
Correct.
Okay. And did you do anything with that round?
We sent that round to the FBI because it was of concern and their determination was that the ball bearings were stuck inside of it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That was the reason it was rattled.
That's rough.
State's Exhibit 50. What are we looking at here?
This is an ammunition box of marked as 3840 dummies that was removed from the prop truck.
And are all of the rounds in that styrofoam insert 3840 dummies?
No.
What other calibers in there?
Some of them are 4440s.
All right. Any 45 Colt rounds in there?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. State's Exhibit 51. What are we looking at here?
This is a close-up of those same rounds.
Okay. And we can kind of see the head stamp there. Can you see that?
Yes.
State's Exhibit
Let's go.
52.
Let it go.
What's this?
These are those same rounds laid out.
And the rounds over on the right-hand side. What are
Rounds.
those?
The rounds that are over on that side that are laid sideways, those are the 3840 rounds.
These are the 3840s?
I've been streaming
I
for
apologize. Let
hours
me
and I
open
haven't
my
lit a
report.
pipe
Sure.
yet. What's wrong with me?
No, I'm sorry. Those are the 4440s.
And the chrome and shiny brass that we're looking at here on the
Can
left.
these
What caliber are
experts
those?
Those are
tell
the
by just
44s.
looking
Okay,
at
great.
it?
In terms of the 4440s here on the right, do all of the 4440s that you have, dummy rounds that you have in evidence, do they all have that same projectile that we can see here?
Yes.
Well,
And is
maybe
that projectile,
4440s do, but what about Rush
dissimilar than the projectile
2112?
of the live rounds?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 53. What's this?
These are the rounds that were provided to Detective Hancock from Halyna Gutierrez during her interview.
Okay.
This shows how the
And
fat one is
can
getting
you- were they
bullied
all
by
dummy
the
rounds?
other bullets.
Yes.
And the 5 on the left, do they shake?
No.
The one on the right, does it rattle?
Yes.
Rattle rather than shake, I apologize. State's Exhibit 54, what are we looking at here?
This is the close-up of the projectile that was recovered from Joel Souza's shoulder.
Okay. And just to be clear, this is the only projectile that was that was taken into evidence from presumably from the injuries of the victims.
Correct.
Okay. State's Exhibit 55. What's this?
This
So
was a
a bullet
bag
went
of spent casings
through
that
a
was
body
located inside
into the
ammunition
shoulder,
bag.
and it was almost
And
Not-
State's Exhibit 56.
These are those same casings laid out.
no fragmentation or
And I
anything.
see that you have some separated up here on the top left. Do you see those?
Yes.
I'm going to move to State's
And real quickly, again, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. It wasn't front to back and into the other guy. It was side to side. It went through one armpit, across her chest cavity, and out the other armpit. I'm not sure if it went right to left or left to right, but I think it went
Huh.
right to left. But it went through her, basically through one armpit, through her chest cavity, out the other armpit, and into Joel Souza's shoulder. That's rough.
Yeah, I mean, because
it-
usually when you turn on the side, you make such a smaller target.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Mr. Jingles.
57. What's this?
Mr.
This is a close-up of
Bojangles.
those same rounds.
The casings?
Casings, yes.
All 4 of these spent casings, are they all 45 long Colt? Or
Yes.
45 Colt?
Yes.
And are they all Starline brass casings?
Yes.
It would appear that they all have silver primers.
Yes.
Are these casings basically identical to the casing that was taken from the scene and sent to the FBI?
Your Honor, I'm gonna object on the leading, and if it can be rephrased.
It's not really leading.
Sure.
Very
Did you
generous.
find any spent casings on the prop cart?
Yes.
How many?
1.
And can you tell us what that one looks like as compared to what we're looking at here in States 57?
Yes. The casing that was located on the cart is a silver primer and states 45 Colt with the Starline brass logo.
All right, thank you. States Exhibit 58. Do you know what we're looking at here?
Yes.
And what is this?
This was a shirt collected from the scene that was
This is
marked
the
as
Missouri
item 18.
Meerschaum corn cob.
do you know-
report. Thank you so much.
Which of the
Xterra
victims
Bill,
was
by
on-
the way,
I believe this
he's
was
the
Joel
guy that's
Souza's
responsible
shirt.
for the intro audio, the grounds.
States Exhibit 59. Do you
He
recognize
did the
that?
remix for that.
This was that
Xterra
same
Bill
shirt
is the
just
is
from
the OG
opposite
go.
of you.
And let me stop you there. I'm going to go back to States Exhibit 58, and I'm going to blow it up here.
That's a lot of blood. So yeah, see you can see where the blood
Do
is
you,
like coagulated
Do you see
around
here
the
where it says
armpit
marker
area.
18?
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
What that correlates with is what I marked it with our crime scene evidence markers on scene. So it was marked on scene with a yellow marker that stated as 18.
Okay. States Exhibit 59. What writing do you have here?
I have it as from Med 60.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you again. I think you indicated that this was the same shirt that was in 59, is it? Or I'm sorry, 58.
It is not. I apologize.
Okay, so let's move to States Exhibit 60. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
And what are we looking at here?
This is the shirt collected from Med 60, which was the ambulance, from a viewpoint of it laid completely out.
And who was wearing this shirt on the day of the incident?
I believe this shirt belonged to Halyna Hutchins.
All right, thank you. And these have already been admitted into evidence, but States Exhibit 61, do you recognize that?
Yes.
And did you take this photo?
Yes.
And can you tell us where you took the photo and why?
This is the inside of Lieutenant Benavidez's vehicle where the 2 boxes of ammunition that were handed to him were secured.
States Exhibit 62, what's that?
This is a close-up on those ammunition boxes.
And in States Exhibit 62, can you clearly see that label?
Yes.
Can you tell us what the label says?
45 Long Colt Dummies, JS.
And when you say JS, you're referring to those small letters in the center?
Yes.
All right. And States Exhibit 63, what's this?
This is that same box.
Only, where was this photo taken?
This was in my office in my processing room.
States Exhibit 64,
This is the inside of that box.
and this round here, We may have already discussed it. Was this
Batman,
round sent to the
Bruce
FBI?
Wayne,
Yes.
bit
Was it determined to be a live round?
Yes.
ground.
State's Exhibit 65. What's this?
These are those same rounds removed from the foam insert and laid out.
Okay. And if you know, and if you need me to bounce back to the previous photo, I'm happy
And
to.
this is not the most
From looking at
exciting
this, do you
testimony.
know
They have to
which
lay
of
all the
these is
foundation.
that
They have
live
to
round?
introduce the pieces of evidence.
The live round
and
in
do
this
the
case
chain of
would
custody,
be
who did it,
next
who
to all of
collected
the
it,
rounds
what
that have
it
the
is.
hole drilled through the
This
side.
is just informative shit. They're just
Yes.
getting into evidence. It's boring. It's dull. And at some point, they're going to have
Let's talk
someone
about that.
come
I
and
wanna
talk
make
about
sure-
the pictures and all this other shit. It's just, it's the
When-
most
let me
boring
ask you
part
this.
of the
When you
trial.
took the rounds
Bear
out of
with
the styrofoam insert and you lined them up, did you line them up in the same order that they were in the styrofoam insert?
No.
Okay. Why did you put these 5 at the bottom by themselves?
Because they were a different type of round.
Okay. And so how are these 5 over here on the left different than the rest of the rounds from the box?
So they have the hole drilled through the side.
All 5 of them?
Those 4, and then the one on the end would be the live round.
Okay. This one right here.
Yes.
Alrighty. Thank you. State's Exhibit 70. Well, let me stop for a second. I think you testified yesterday that you participated in a search warrant at PDQ Props. Is that correct?
Yes.
And did you collect any live ammunition from PDQ Props?
Yes.
Okay. And let's turn to State's Exhibit 70. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
And what is this?
This was a box of ammunition that was recovered from PDQ props.
A box of ammunition?
Yes.
Was it live or dummy or blank?
Only live ammunition was collected from PDQ props.
Okay. When you were there, were there other types of ammunition there also?
Yes.
Okay. State's Exhibit 71. What are we looking at here?
This is the live ammunition that was recovered from PDQ props.
And this live ammunition that was recovered from PDQ Props, is it visibly different than the live rounds that were found on the movie set?
Yes.
And how is it visibly different?
So there were different types of live ammunition collected from PDQ, including different stamps on that ammunition.
And let me ask you this, the projectile shape, is the projectile shape different in these than in the rounds that were found on set?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 72, what are we looking at here?
So this is a close-up of some of that live ammunition.
And can you tell us what color primers the live ammunition from PDQ Props has?
This ammunition that we're looking at now had brass.
Okay. And that's, is that different than the live rounds that were found on set?
Yes.
Amy
Bring
Winehouse looks
another,
like 3
piece of physical
times
evidence
bigger
into the
than
file.
Hannah
Yes, I do.
Gutierrez does.
If you can help me.
They're whispering. We can fast forward. He's the IT guy. Again, like the most sharp dressed guy in the courtroom. The most well groomed guy is the audio video guy.
Yeah.
State's Exhibit 79.
And,
Yes.
And remind us what State's Exhibit 79 is.
and ghostery,
This was
yes,
a live round
Mr.
that
Jingles
was
is
deconstructed
always
by the
plotting
FBI.
to
Where
hurt
does live
something.
round come
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
If I can see the
Okay.
label on it.
Hey.
apologize. So this live round originated from the box that was handed to Lieutenant Benavides.
Okay.
Oh, and I'm going to have a
that's
cat's
the box
ass
that just has
in
the
my
live round
face
in it
again.
You looked at the photo of?
Yes, with the silver primer.
Ow.
Oh, I'm not connected anymore. Okay, and that would have been State's Exhibit 64 for the record is what we're referring to.
Yes.
And what you brought me today, State's Exhibit 91. Let me try to get it out there. Can you tell us what we're looking at here?
This was
Okay.
This was a round collected from PDQ that was then sent to the FBI, and the FBI deconstructed it.
Okay. What was the purpose behind sending the live rounds from a set and the live rounds from PDQ to the FBI?
They did an analysis of the gunpowder components in both rounds.
Okay, great.
Ow.
So what we just saw in State's Exhibit
No,
79,
ow.
this is similar. Do you agree? It has a casing and a projectile and a container of gunpowder. Can you see the gunpowder that I've zoomed in on there?
Yes.
And does that look to be the same just visibly from just looking at it? Does that,
I'm not checking that.
I'm not quite sure what the way you're She's
Yeah,
phrasing.
yeah, what's the ground of the objections?
It's okay. Sometimes it sounds leading to me, but it's okay. We just go for it.
Leading.
Is this different than the other exhibit, the gunpowder?
Yes,
Okay, it looks different, right?
yes.
Thank you. Give me just one moment to review my notes. And just for completeness, you also have a large amount of blank rounds in evidence.
Yes,
How many blank rounds do you think you have in evidence?
I would say probably close to 1,000.
And approximately how many gun belts do you have in evidence?
I believe 3,
And approximately how many guns do you have in evidence?
around 15 or 16.
And those are real functioning firearms?
Yes.
Oops, sorry.
Bear with me.
Bear with her while she wastes our time.
I'll pass the witness.
Thank you. Cross exam.
All right, it's cross-examination time. Shouldn't be much. Talk to the AV
Now, I
guy.
want to talk to you first about your training and your job and what you've been trained on as a crime scene technician. Can you tell the jury a little bit about your training?
Yes, I have my,
I think this is just me making a prediction. I think he's going to go down the line of you do not have any special training in the area of armor expertise, firearm expertise, bullet identification expertise. I think that's the route he's going to go down here. But he needs to learn that a little bit of baby powder on the dome goes a long way.
bachelor's degree in forensics. I've had over 1,000 additional hours of in-classroom training over various different forensic areas, such as
No
blood pattern
kidding.
analysis,
Not
fingerprint
BAR with
analysis,
her.
crime
BEAR
scene
with her.
those areas.
Okay, and has that included firearm and ammunition training and determining
Exactly.
the difference
Oh.
between types of ammunition?
I'm a fucking
Not that
genius.
specific, no.
Okay, so what is the scope of your training you've had on determining different types of ammunition?
I mean, are you specifically referring to?
Calibers, 4440, 38, 45, you've been trained on recognizing the differences?
That I have, yes.
Okay, and how about recognizing the differences between dummy rounds, blanks, and live rounds?
I have not been to that type of training, no.
Okay, so your testimony earlier when you were talking about the dummy rounds and the various measurements and that, you have not been trained in that area?
No.
Okay, now part of your training in terms of verifying that a round is either a dummy or a live round is you need to send that to the FBI lab for confirmation. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Because some of the dummy rounds appear like live rounds. They look like live rounds, correct?
Yes.
In fact, the round that came out of the box we saw earlier that did not shake, you sent that off to the FBI lab because you wanted to confirm what that was, correct?
Yes.
And part of the thing the FBI does is
This
they
is
take
very
apart the
good.
round and they determine
He's
if it has
saying you
color.
have to
Is that
send
right?
it off to the FBI
And
to
when they do that,
to
tells them
confirm
it's a
whether or
live
not
round
it's a
dummy. Do you agree
dummy
with that?
round. So how
Yes.
could Hannah
So,
have been
did you also
expected
agree in your training
to know this?
that you've never been taught that you can eyeball a dummy and determine if it's a dummy or live, or eyeball a round and determine if it's a dummy or live?
No, I've not been trained in that area.
Okay. And you would also agree with me that you can't look at a picture of a round and determine necessarily if it's a dummy or live?
I would disagree with that.
And why would you disagree?
The rounds that have holes drilled into the side of them or the primers removed appear to visibly be dummy rounds.
And those do. Now, how about the rounds that don't shake, don't have a hole in them, and you're looking at that? You can't tell just by looking at it that's live or dummy, correct?
Correct.
And that's why you sent that one off to the lab again, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want to show you what's been marked as defense I. Now, show counsel.
Interesting defense strategy. I like it. If it's too difficult for you to tell, how do you expect her to tell? I mean, whether or not it's grounded in reality doesn't matter. It's whether he's planting the idea of reasonable doubt in the jurors' minds. That's the only thing that matters. All right, let's fast forward through the sidebar charades here.
This photo we've just been talking about. I'm not going to introduce it, but I'm asking you.
Sure.
And this is defense I. If you could take a look at that.
And we're about 45 minutes behind
Do you recognize
live.
that photo?
I do not.
Okay. And so you didn't take that photo?
No.
Okay. What is in that? I know we're not going to move to introduce it, but what is in this picture?
It appeared.
Hang on, I'm going to object. she's never seen the picture before. She didn't take the picture. I don't think she can answer that question without it being completely speculative.
And I'm just asking her to identify it. What is it? Not to go into detail, but what is it? Just for the record. It's a picture.
Like,
I'm just asking.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bowles, since you're cross, can't you just leave her in that question and
I
then
can.
we don't get
Sure.
out in
I just
the
wanted
weeds?
her to say it. Yeah, that's fine. This is a picture with rounds in it in a box.
Yes.
Round.
And if I could have that back. Thank you. Okay, ma'am. So in terms of recognizing live versus dummy rounds, you would also agree with me that you have not been trained on the shininess of rounds and how that you can't tell a dummy or live from their shininess, right?
Correct.
Okay. And yesterday there was some talk about patine or patina on some of the rounds. Did you
Yes,
remember that?
patina. Congratulations.
And actually what that is just oxidation on the round case, correct?
Yes.
So in other words, when a round sits around for long enough, oxygen interacts with the metal and it's just going to turn a little color, correct?
Yes.
And because oxygen does that to the outside of the round, you don't know whether that it doesn't matter whether there's a patina as to whether it's live or a dummy, correct?
Correct.
Because they have the same cases.
Yes.
Okay. Now, with regard to the FBI, there were several things that were sent to the FBI. You testified yesterday for testing, correct?
Yes.
And there was DNA testing requested on the revolver that was used by Mr. Baldwin, correct?
Yes.
And you knew that that was submitted?
Yes.
Now, yesterday you talked about somebody told you at the FBI that the live rounds could not be tested for DNA. You remember that?
Yes.
Who did you talk to specifically?
I don't recall who I specifically spoke to at the lab.
Oof.
Did you make that call?
To not send them?
No, did you make?
Real quickly here, Squizgar2322 says, but if you can't tell, it is common sense. You assume it is live. Well, true. I can't argue with that. But more importantly, we have D. What with the salud. This was from about 10 minutes ago. No, it was about 20 minutes ago. Nick, I did not do this shot, did I?
Nope.
Are you sure? I'm trusting you with my sobriety here.
Yep. You haven't done a shot since I saw that super chat coming in.
All right. I'm trusting you. If you're lying to me, it's on your conscience. It's on your conscience. D. What says salud with a ginormous super chat. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it.
I was not prepared for the foghorn.
Wake up, everybody. All right, we will do the shot. I just didn't know if I didn't know for sure if I did this or not. Okay, see now Leafy Fifi Foo says yes, you did. But Epic Flex says no, you didn't. We'll ask D. What. D. What? Did I do your super chat? It's on my patine. Oh, fuck off. Nick would never lie to you about a shot.
You know what? Let's take one together.
You didn't, Jeff? Okay. All right. What the hell? We'll just do it. All right. Let's get on with this. I will do my, I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Okay. Joe Choi says, no, you didn't. All right. Whatever. I will do one just in case because I would rather be accused of doing too many shots than not enough. So there you go.
Yes, I did, along with their.
We'll use the alien
representative
head
for
this
our
time.
area, who was Agent Cortez.
Cortez. Okay. Now, were you aware that
Cheers.
we had requested?
Thank you,
those
D.
rounds,
What
fingerprints,
you'll
and
be a
DNA
man
taken?
before your mother.
That you
Cheers.
requested it?
Yes. Okay. You were never told that?
No.
Okay. And you're also aware that those live rounds were never tested for their fingerprints.
I was not aware of that. It was my understanding that they were tested for fingerprints.
Well, then you're not aware that I asked Detective Hancock to do that and it wasn't done. You're not aware of that?
Objection to the former question. He's asking for speculation. How does she know what he says to Detective Hancock?
He's not asking her to speculate, but she's answering a question about whether you are aware. I don't know if this I think you can follow up about.
Porcelain Thunder asks, does it matter? No,
what's the
not
purpose
really.
of asking this witness about those things.
Yes. And yesterday you testified that these live rounds have been sent for fingerprints.
That was my understanding.
But that you didn't talk to Detective Hancock to see that she didn't do that?
It's my understanding that it got done.
Where's the report on that?
It's not your
The FBI
understanding
report
is
on
not
that?
important.
I would assume that
It happened or it didn't, not your
And
understanding.
are you familiar with that report and Mr. Ziegler's report?
I am not.
Okay. So you haven't read that recently?
Not recently, no.
Okay. So you don't have firsthand knowledge that those live rounds were tested for fingerprints, correct?
Correct.
So you're just going on an assumption.
It
That's
was
what you understood.
the information that I had from the lab.
All right, just wait. All right.
I'm sorry. Gary?
I'm sorry to interrupt. He's setting things. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sorry to
Oh,
interrupt
no,
you.
no, not sorry. Gary. Okay. So again, that was just what you thought, but it wasn't. Anyway, we'll get into that with Detective Hancock. Okay. With regard to your role as a crime scene technician, you also took a series of photos of different scenes, correct?
Yes.
And that included the church,
Yes.
and that included the prop truck,
Yes.
and that included Seth Kinney's business PDQ, correct?
Yes.
Okay. With regard to the prop truck, do you recall when that search warrant occurred?
For the prop truck
Yes.
took place on October 27th.
Okay. And when did the search of Seth Kinney's PDQ business take place?
November 30th.
So Seth
And
Kinney
then
supplied
the
the ammunition,
incident
all the
on Seth-
rounds,
shooting on
and
Seth
dummies
that
and
occurred
blanks,
October
et cetera.
21st, correct?
He supplied most
Okay.
of them to this. to
So
defense.
October 21st, the prop truck is searched 6 days later. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then Seth Kinney's place is not searched for over a month, correct?
Yes.
So during that month period, you have no idea whether Mr. Kinney
Right, Hayden.
disposed of rounds or got rid of rounds. You have no idea whether that happened.
No.
Okay. And were you aware that Mr. Kinney had received rounds from the set of Yellowstone 1883?
Yes.
Oh my God,
Because
you
one of
killed
those
Seth Kinney.
things inside his shop said live 1883, correct?
Yes.
Now that, as I understand, that was empty at the time of the search warrant, correct?
No.
That canister was not empty.
The box marked live ammo 1883 is the only area we found live rounds.
Did he not have any other live rounds in that shop?
I don't believe so. No.
Because there were, and we'll show pictures in a little bit, but there were tons of ammunition boxes, correct?
Yes.
So
Yes.
did you search all of those boxes? Did you look into all those boxes?
I believe so. Yes.
Every one of them.
I can't be certain.
Okay. Because there's a lot of them. You remember
Yes.
that? Yeah.
Okay, fair
did you, in
answer.
fact, just take Seth Kinney's word on what was live and what was not?
No, I know that boxes were dug through and it was a time consuming process.
Now, you didn't seize all of the rounds from that 1883 can, did you?
I collected the live rounds that were in the box marked 1883 that were 45 Colt.
Did you get all the 45 rounds from that canister?
Yes, all of the 45 rounds.
And did you ask him whether he had gotten rid of some of the rounds or used some of the rounds prior to you all getting there for the search?
I did not interview Seth Kinney.
Okay. So you don't know the answer to that?
No.
Okay. Now, earlier, you showed a picture of the Mary Kay bag. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And there was a box inside it with blue writing that you saw. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And it said something like dummy rounds 45 LC.
Yes.
And you know that that's Seth Kinney's box, correct?
Yes, I know.
Okay. And that box was found in the prop truck?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you're not aware whether Sarah Zachary may have taken anything from the prop cart to the prop truck, or are you?
I do not know.
Okay. So if she had removed anything from the prop cart and taken it to the prop truck, you would not know that. Is that what you're telling the jury?
Correct.
So Seth Kinney's box, you have no idea whether that was on the prop cart, but it was moved to the prop truck, do you?
No.
Now, are you aware that?
So he's not having any great gotcha
at
moments,
the time of
but
the
he's
shooting,
just
right after the
question by question
Yes.
showing
did
that
it
she
take you to get
doesn't
around?
know what she's talking
It
about.
took me
She
several
doesn't know
minutes.
this, she doesn't know
We
that,
had
she
a
doesn't have any
meeting in our criminal investigation
information
division
regarding
first
this, she has
before
an
we all
assumption
headed out
about
to
that,
the
she
scene.
believes
How long
this
did it take you
happened,
up
but
to
she
those
doesn't
7
have
minutes to
any
get to the
actual
scene?
knowledge.
I do not recall.
Was it 30 minutes? Was it an hour? How
It
long was the drive?
Was, I would say, 30 minutes at most.
So when you got there, were you aware that other sheriffs had gotten there?
Yes.
At what time, how long after, if you know, did those sheriffs report after the shooting? How long did it take for them to get there?
I do not know.
At the time you got there, did you see whether Mr. Baldwin was segregated in a vehicle?
I don't recall.
Did you see that Ms. Gutierrez was, though?
Yes, I recall her being in the vehicle.
Do you recall seeing Alec Baldwin talking on his cell phone and just walking around?
No, I don't recall that.
You haven't
We
seen any
all
pictures
saw
like that or video or anything like that?
In the following days in media, yes, I've
Okay.
seen him on the phone in photos.
So you're aware now, you can tell the jury he was not segregated.
I do not know.
Okay. Now, with regard to your work on set that day, you took pictures when you responded to the shooting. Did you do any interviews, anything like that?
No, I do not interview.
Okay. And your job at that time as a crime scene technician is to secure the scene, secure the evidence. Would that be fair?
Yes.
Part of your goal in securing the evidence is to make sure that you get it right, you get the chain of custody right, and you make sure that's logged. Is that right?
Yes.
Why is the chain of custody so important?
The chain of custody is essentially the tracking of where the item originated from to who has possession of it now and everything in between.
It's important
Okay?
because it
And
proves that
if
it
there is a
wasn't
break in the
tampered
chain of
with.
custody, that's a problem for you in terms of verifying that evidence, correct?
Yes.
Now, if before you got there, Miss Zachary had thrown rounds away and she had taken items from the prop cart to the prop truck, that could cause problems with the chain of custody, correct?
Well, if someone were to remove evidence from a scene, it wouldn't just cause problems for chain of custody. It would cause problems because we no longer have that evidence.
Correct. In fact, if you don't have evidence, it's lost. That's a serious problem in a case like this, correct?
Yes.
And this is a death investigation. So you would ideally want all of the evidence that might be relevant for a jury to see later, correct?
Yes,
Now, are you aware here that Ms. Zachary actually threw those rounds away?
beyond my scope of knowledge.
Okay. And again, we're talking about those getting thrown away. But now let's talk about if items were taken from that prop cart to the prop truck before you got there, would you agree that breaks the chain of custody? It disturbs the scene. Would you
Yes.
agree with that?
Yes.
So in other words, when you get there and you take pictures of the prop cart, you wouldn't know if that's how it looked at the time of the shooting, would you?
No.
And we saw a picture of those boxes that went into Deputy Benavides' truck. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Now, later on, I know you put them back in the cart to take pictures, correct?
Yes.
So, and I know you weren't intending to do something, but when you placed them back, you have no idea if that was where they were before.
That was not the reasoning behind placing them into the scene.
I understand, and I'm not trying to say your reasoning a certain way. I'm just saying that you did not know when you placed them back for a picture that that's exactly where they were before.
Correct.
So when the jury looks at a picture of the prop cart now, they don't know if that's where those were at the time of the shooting. That's not your fault. I'm just saying that that's a fact, correct?
Correct.
Oh,
and
wow.
In terms of evidence, when you're trying to, as a crime scene technician, you don't want people, for example, to reach across the.
So he's just basically elicited testimony over the past several minutes that she doesn't know what she's talking about. She has no direct knowledge of anything, and all of the evidence that she's introduced may or may not be accurate.
Yeah,
That's literally reasonable doubt.
Yeah, and she staged the photo. I don't think that's allowed.
We saw that in the O.J. Simpson trial. We had Ron and Nicole murdered. They moved the bloody glove. They moved a ski cap. They moved an envelope with sunglasses in it out of the way, drug a body through the crime scene, and then put the evidence back basically where it was before. And they got called out. That's kind of what they're doing here. They're showing pictures of the cart, but she's saying she can't tell if it's the cart at the time of the shooting or the cart at the time the police were there and fucking with it.
Crime scene tape and either grab evidence or put evidence on a cart, correct?
Correct.
Now, similarly, you would not want, as a crime scene technician, for an officer to handle a weapon with his bare hand. That wouldn't be ideal, would it?
No.
And in fact, you're trying to get DNA later and fingerprints, but did you see the camera of the Deputy Benavides that handled that weapon with his bare hand?
Yes.
Okay, and again, that's not ideal, is it?
No.
In terms of that, those rounds, you talked about.
See, that's what I was saying yesterday.
You talked about different boxes that were found
when they were
that day,
securing
right?
the
you have
weapon.
no idea whether
The guy
Ms.
wasn't
Zachary
wearing
or Ms.
gloves. He just
Gutierrez
grabbed the weapon
those
that
rounds
killed
that day
Halyna
and put them
Hutchins
back
with
in
his
different
bare
boxes.
hands and carried it to the car.
So if you, for example, if these rounds were used the day before and they were changed out into a different box, you would have no way of knowing that, would you?
No.
So in other words, when we just went through on direct examination that these rounds came from this box and these rounds came from that box, you really have no idea where those rounds originated from, which box, do you?
My statements for where they originated at that time.
Yes, so that was just that.
Yeah, what do you mean? My statement was for what they originated at that time. That means I don't know what the fuck I'm trying, and I'm obfuscating and hoping you don't call me out on it. But he does.
Day. But my question is, you do not know if 3 days before these rounds were in that box and these rounds were in that box. Is that fair?
Yes.
At least she's answering truthfully.
No, and I'm not
true.
Well, when you say that the boxes were handed to Benavides, isn't it true that actually he just grabbed those boxes?
I do not know.
Okay, so when you said they were handed to him, you really didn't know that.
No, that was the information that I was given.
Okay, but again, the lapel cam, everybody can watch it and see it, but for example, it doesn't look like anybody handed it to him. But you haven't seen it?
I'll just object to the former question. She's indicated that she knows.
No, you're right. No, she's right. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I'll move forward on that. Now,
Sometimes
I do wanna
getting
show
the
you some
information
pictures
out
that we're gonna label,
beforehand is in preparation, so the jury already have it in their head as they're watching the video.
They're not supposed to, but.
And sometimes the question is more important than the answer.
I don't have any objection as long as they are certain that these are photos that Ms. Powell took.
And Bass gifted 5 Legal Vices memberships. If
Hey,
you got one of
Bass.
the 5 Legal Vices memberships, make sure you give Bass a super special thanks. Thank you so much.
Well, usually you would.
All right, we
Oh,
can
if the state isn't objecting.
fast forward through this.
Okay. And then can I first ask you, did you say that you had taken some of these photos or all of these photos?
Yes, all of these photos.
Okay. And again, this is from the search warrant of Seth Kenny's business in November. Okay.
Yes.
Now I want to say just quickly, what is this shot?
This is the back alley entrance into the building.
Okay. Next.
That same alley entrance.
Okay.
Excuse me, can you say on the record which exhibit? It's J. They're in massing.
All right.
When you switch to K, let us know.
Yes.
When you switch to K, let us know.
Yeah.
You can't get those pictures any bigger, just out of curiosity? I mean, it's up to you. But
Yes. Can we make those a little bigger, Mr. Williams?
They need to
This is
embiggen the
another angle.
pictures.
How this looked when you went in?
Yes.
Does that appear to be disorganized?
Yes.
Heather Sparrow.
And again, this one
Is
very
Fung
disorganized?
testifying next on how to secure and collect evidence? Yeah,
What
you'd
is this
think.
This is
You'd
facing
think.
the
Thank you
entrance
so
from
much
where
for
we
the
came in.
$20 super.
Again, there's stuff
You're
everywhere.
awesome.
You agree with that?
Love you,
Yes.
Heather.
Okay. The next one. Okay. What is that one?
I believe this was a look into a closet.
Okay. And is there pizza boxes there?
Oh my
you know
God,
if you
there's
look
old
into it,
pizza
is that true?
boxes.
I
I hope
know.
that's not a piss
You go to the
bottle.
next.
And there's like a toaster oven. What
All
the
right.
fuck? What
Is
does
that
this
the
have
one
to
that
do
you
with
went with the
anything?
rounds? If you can show that.
Oh, this is where they were staying.
Okay. What are these we're seeing?
These were boxes and boxes of ammunition.
And this is what I was kind of mentioning earlier. There was a lot of these, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And there was other places where these were. Okay. Here are these more boxes.
Yes.
And are these all different kinds of ammunition?
I believe so. Yes.
And again, I think you said you couldn't recall whether you all went through all those boxes.
No, I could not.
Okay. And keep going. Okay, we're flipping kind of quickly, but what is this this machine?
I believe this was a vice that was sitting on a counter.
Okay. And then more ammo boxes.
Yes.
Now zoom in on this. Did you see any of them with the JS?
Yes.
Okay. And you know that's a fairly common box. Have you seen that in Seth Kenny's business as well?
Yes.
Now these ammo boxes in general, you're aware, aren't you, that they can be purchased off the internet for 25 or 10 bucks?
I don't know that.
Okay. I mean, but these are standard little white boxes. They're all over the place. Are you aware of that?
That they're standard white boxes. Yes.
Yeah, okay. And I mean, you're familiar with these, aren't you, in your job? You
With-
see these type of boxes?
I see ammo boxes, not necessarily all white ones with certain stamps on them.
Okay. Well,
Racist.
how often do you see JS?
Not a lot.
Okay. But you do see them from time to time.
Not that I recall.
Okay. Well, there's a lot there.
Well, yes, in this case, there were a lot of JS boxes, but in my 7 years crime scene tech, I haven't seen a lot of JS boxes.
Do you know what JS is?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right, next one. Again, we got 32 Smith & Wesson.
Oh,
22.
sorry, Nate.
These are more ammo, right?
Yes.
Okay, next.
More-
Again, the JS. Is that the JS there?
Yes.
Okay. If you can move forward.
All
I'm
right.
happy-
The whiskey seal has been unbroken. It's
Yeah.
time for me. I'll be back in a
Okay.
minute.
And what are these?
These are spent casings.
All right. I'm having
You see the,
latency
the
issues,
primer,
so
how it's
I
been?
hear about
Yes.
What is the
30%
significance
of
of
what
that?
is said.
That means
so
that this
I
round has
can't
been
really
fired, so a
contribute.
firing pin has created that indent in this casing.
Are you aware that there's a thing where a primer can be slightly dented, and then if it was struck again, it could go off? Are you aware of that?
No, I'm
Just
not
sit
sure
there and
what
look
it is.
handsome.
If
while
a hammer hits a primer and it doesn't strike it hard
I
enough, it can
will
create a
Do
small
what I do
indentation
best.
or dent in
I'm
that,
gonna
correct?
object. I think this is pretty far outside her scope of expertise, and we've got plenty of other witnesses. who can
Sure,
answer
we
questions.
do. Okay, we do. Okay. If you can move to the next picture, Mr. William. And then again, what are just you get the jury just an idea what these are? Is that more ammo?
Yes.
And again, that's and that one in particular was just in a gray tub.
Yes.
Okay. And the next one. What are some of these pictures?
This was the front room area.
Again, is that more ammo boxes in this particular picture?
Yes.
Okay, and again, is that a JS notation?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you can move forward, please, Mr. William. Okay, when you go back one, is that a gun belt?
Yes.
You go forward. And again, more ammo?
Yes.
Okay. And we've seen enough of those, unless you have anything in particular, but that's, we get the flavor of those. If you can move to the church pictures.
Oh, is that K now?
Okay, go ahead. Put those up.
We're still in J.
Okay, what is this picture?
This was a box that was located marked live ammo 1883.
And again, that was what we talked about earlier?
Yes.
Okay. And what is this one?
This is an overview of where that box was located.
Okay. And finally, what is this one?
This is what was inside of that box.
Okay, and there's several in that live ammo. There's several boxes here, correct?
Yes.
What is that? What were those that said lead?
I don't recall.
Okay, you don't recall what was inside those?
No.
Okay. They're labeled various types. Did you go through all those?
Yes.
But you can't tell the jury today what was in them?
I don't recall what was in them. I only collected 45 live rounds out of this box.
Okay, and here's 45 LC, is that right?
Yes.
What are those loose rounds around it?
Those were, I believe some of them were live 45 rounds.
Okay, were those collected?
Yes.
Okay, and how about these?
This was a close-up of what was in that box marked 45 LC.
Okay. And you know what is in this picture?
This is a green ammunition box that was located.
And these appear to be more dummy rounds, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, if we can move to K.
Is there going to be some kind of demarcation so that we know which is J, which is K?
Yes, Your Honor, we need to go back and make sure that that's demarcated. We'll do that. Well, while we're finding that, I have a couple more questions. The round you talked about in government States 49 earlier that had ball bearings in it that didn't shake or apparently were stuck inside. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And that was the one you sent out to the FBI
I'm
lab?
back.
Yes.
So that would have been a round potentially on set that didn't rattle.
Yes.
And that so that would have been a round potentially on set that did not rattle, correct?
Yes.
But you had to send that off to the FBI lab for confirmation to determine that, correct?
Yes.
And that's not something either Ms. Zachary or Ms. Gutierrez-Reed had the luxury of on the set, did they?
No.
Okay. We also heard yesterday Ms. Morrissey shook a round into the microphone. You remember that?
Yes.
Mhm.
And asked everybody if they could hear it?
Yes.
Again, that's not something Ms. Zachary or Ms. Gutierrez-Reed had the luxury of on set, did they?
Of rattling around?
Of having a microphone so they can rattle it and have everybody hear on a microphone.
No, they didn't have a microphone.
Okay.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay, do you have the church pictures ready? Yeah. Can we put those up? Can you just quickly tell us kind of what we're looking at here? Is this David Halls?
I don't know who the individual in the back is. I was taking a photograph of the back of Mr. Baldwin.
Okay, so earlier, did you tell me you didn't see Mr. Baldwin?
This was the only interaction I had with him was photographing what he was wearing and then taking the clothing that he had on.
Okay, well then you knew when you photographed him, he wasn't segregated in a car.
Ooh, she
Well, when
took
I
Alec
photographed him, he
Baldwin's
wasn't. I have no
clothes.
idea what he was doing before or after that.
Well, right then he's standing outside. How long did you see him?
My interaction with him was probably less than 10 minutes.
Your Honor, she's indicated that she has no.
Less than 10 minutes. That's quite a long time to determine if it was.
Okay, he can ask that question. And I
No,
think that's the
Exactly.
answer.
Yes, and I'll move forward. Okay, so ma'am, what is this?
This is the outside of the church.
Okay, and this one?
Another angle of what's outside the church.
Do you know what the card is that we just saw?
I'm not sure what you're referring to. The card that's in the photo now.
Yeah, just we went by it. If you could go, no, go the other way. This one.
That was one of multiple equipment cards that was located outside.
And when you say equipment cards, were these, so these were on set productions cards when you got there?
Yes.
Okay, keep going. And what is that? That big structure in the back of that photo?
Are you talking about the small structure or are you talking about the white structure?
The white structure.
I believe that was the prop truck.
Okay. And do you see that that appears to be outside of the crime scene tape?
Yes.
Okay, and these are more photos of the church, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. What is the next? Oh, the prop truck. Okay, can we put those up? And this prop truck search was October 27th, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Bowden, what is the letter?
This one is M.
M as in Mary.
Okay, just a minute. Did we finish K now or?
Yes.
Okay, well, all right, so we went into K. You didn't tell us when we
It's
went into L.
it's New
I
Mexico
apologize,
in
Your Honor, all the
October.
church
There's no
photos are
snow.
L that we just saw.
All right, let's make sure that when you send them to the jury, they have them properly marked, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All
Yes.
right, M.
Okay, this is M as in Mary, this series. Now, what is this here?
This is the outside of the prop truck.
And move, if you can. This is the exterior inside of the truck.
Yes.
And what is this picture of?
This is the side door entrance into the truck.
Okay. And this is the interior?
Yes.
Okay, and this is a gun belt in the interior of that truck?
Yes.
Well, that's
What are
not
these?
in the safe.
We're seeing now that we're zooming in?
This in particular is a 45 LC ammo box.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, they're approaching the bench to the side. But now, that's not good for the defense because it showed that the rounds and the gun belts and what were not in the safe.
Okay, sending jury out.
All right. It's fast forward. Cool. We get to catch up. Oh, there. It's after a long break.
Yeah, it's lunch probably.
No, it's only 10:30 a.m. there.
All right, you may
Oh.
be seated. As a reminder, you all need to have your badges.
It's N as in Nancy 1.
All right, they just came back, it looks like.
As we
Hey, how about that?
Caught up, bitches.
All right, you may be seated.
Just a couple more minutes. We're like a minute behind now, so we're almost caught up, biatch.
Yay!
Yes, can you hear me? Okay. George, if you
And all right, because we're only a minute behind, we'll take this this brief little period here. We're 2 minutes. We're 2 minutes and 10 seconds. We're 2 hours and 10 minutes into the stream here. Nick Staroff, trial lawyer. That's where you want to go. Nicholas Staroff, Niklas Staroff, trial lawyer. Trial watch. Sorry. Grift yourself. You'll do a better job than I do. Because
Yeah,
I may
I
or
am-
may not have had 12 shots in the past few hours.
Yeah, I am not a trial lawyer. I'm a union rep. I do labor law. So all of this contract stuff that will be brought into this trial is in my wheelhouse. I represent employers. No, I represent employees against employers when shit goes down. That's my day job. And doing these streams are extremely fun for me because in that setting, in litigations, mitigations, negotiations, I'm the stone face guy, very monotoned, describing the law, how you apply the law, how the contract looks, blah, 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 blah. So this streaming thing is so liberating. Yeah, so that's what I do. I cover the Young Thug trial at the moment. And that moment will last the rest of this year. And a bit on the Fannie Willis stuff. And tomorrow I have 2 shows. Gutierrez trial from 2013 and Serial Killer Saturday, which we now are doing the Eileen Warnes, the Florida-based female serial killer, that trial.
She's the truck stop killer, right?
Yep. She was picked
which
up.
I believe Monster, the movie Monster with Charlize Theron was based on.
Yeah. And that's not a very accurate description of what was going on, but hey, Hollywood.
Hey, Charlize Theron.
Hey, yeah. But
yeah.
She gained like 40 pounds for that role, and it shows.
Smash.
And let's just say that Miss Warner's girlfriend looks nothing like the girl portraying her in that movie. It is toothless McBain buff lesbian. Yeah.
and Uter van Putin says, tell Nick Staroff I work for Vattenfalls, but he's still my favorite Swede.
Yeah,
I'm sure that means something to you, but not me.
Vattenfall is the largest electrical company in Sweden, and once in a while I have my run-ins with them.
And Susan Redmond said the prosecutor looks like Charlize Theron in the movie, in the Monster movie. That's what I thought yesterday, but then the more I thought about it, the more I realized she looked like Rutger Hauer, who I believe is Danish, or is he Dutch?
Who?
Rutger Hauer.
Danish.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I thought he was Danish.
Yeah.
Was
Danish descent. Was. Yeah.
Rip Rutger Hauer. One of the most underrated actors in film history.
help me. And I'm going to ask permission at this point to publish exhibit in the N series, and I'll be labeling as we go.
The N as in Nancy series?
N is in Nancy.
Oh yeah,
series.
and I'm Legal Vices. Subscribe to me and like my
And I will
video.
individually label each of them.
Okay, so what happened to the M's?
Yeah, if you haven't done that.
You started with the M's and then I interrupted you, so.
Like we currently have 653 viewers and 500 likes. We need to get up to 600 likes immediately. Please hit that like button. Let's get us up to 600.
Okay,
Let's
can
get
you
the
see that
algorithm
photo
out there
which is
and
N
go.
as in Nancy 1?
Thank you so much. And
That's
please,
it.
please, please, if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you are subscribed, double check to make sure you're still subscribed. Thank you so much. Love you all. You chattered great.
The defense lawyer looks a bit like the defense lawyer in the Henry Dinkins
If you
trial,
please tell the jury what
but
that
then
is.
I remembered
This was a gun belt that was
that
located
he
in the
only had
prop
one arm,
Okay, and N2.
that lawyer,
A
so it
different
isn't
angle of
him.
that gun belt.
Now it's Lex
And how about
Luthor.
N3?
This is a close-up of some of the rounds that were in that belt.
Okay, and do you see different types of rounds in that belt in terms of the head
Oh,
stamps?
he's Dutch.
I believe
Close
in this
enough.
case,
Oh,
in
yeah.
this photo, they all look the
This is one
same.
of the
Okay.
D's.
Okay, I'm gonna show you N4, and what is that?
That's
Rutger
that same
Hauer's
photo,
all
but
about the
a little
D.
clearer. It's not as blurry.
And are those primers, what color are those primers?
Those are silver.
Okay, and how about N5?
This is a different area of the gun belt close-up.
And it has, I see 45 Colt rounds, is that correct?
Yes,
And some silver primers?
yes.
Okay, this is good
were any of these on
because the
N5
the
determined to be
prosecution was like,
live?
oh, the primers are on the
these are
live
dummy
ammunition
rounds
are
with
all
silver primers.
silver, the others are
Okay.
brass.
How
So
about
he's going,
N6?
look, all of these
This
are
is a different
silver,
angle of that gun
right?
belt.
So he's saying, you know,
N7?
they're silver. You
A
can't
different
tell
angle of that gun
whether
belt.
it's a dummy or a
And is that
live
the
round
same
just
with
based
N8?
on the color of
Yes.
the
Okay.
primer.
And what is N9?
This is a close-up of the brand marking that was on the belt.
And what is N10?
I believe these were the rounds that were in the belt that were removed from it.
No, don't believe, no.
And they all have that, what you called yesterday, that patina?
Yes, that darkening on the casing.
Okay. And how about N11?
This is those same rounds with the Spain Denix round removed.
And the Spain Denix round was the round that didn't shake.
Correct.
Okay, okay. And N12?
This is a close-up of the silver primer on those rounds.
How about N13?
This was a box of ammunition that was
Kevin
taken from the
H.
prop truck.
Okay, N14?
A close-up of some of the writing on that box.
Relax.
N15?
Calm down.
Those boxes
Feel
removed
the
from the cardboard box.
soothing atmosphere of the
All right,
law.
and then 16, is that just one of the boxes?
Yes.
Chill.
In 17, what is the significance of that photo?
This was the writing on the outside of that box.
And that has the JS also?
Yes.
And what is in 18?
This is the styrofoam insert removed from that box.
In 19?
A close-up of a different cardboard box with ammunition from the prop truck.
Okay, what is in 20?
This is an overall of the Mary Kay bag from the prop truck
Okay, and again, we see in the middle of that Seth Kenny's box with the writing.
with the blue writing that states dummy rounds 45 LC.
Okay. Again, N21 appears to be a similar picture. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and N22, that is just another picture of a box.
Yes.
Okay. And N23?
That box with the styrofoam removed from it.
Okay. And what is N24?
These were items taken out of the Mary Kay bag and laid out.
Okay, what is that on the top left? What is that item?
My apologies. Your left.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I should have thought about that. It's on my left. It's at, as you're looking
To
at it
the
on that
left,
screen,
to
it's the
the
top
left.
left. Right above the insert.
I believe it was a bracket of sorts that was bent.
Okay. And then on the far right top, is that just a cloth of some sort?
I believe that was one of the sock covers for the firearms.
Okay, and can you tell the jury about that? Did they keep these firearms in a sock cover?
Some of the firearms were kept in sock covers, is what they were referred to as.
Okay. And are you familiar with those sock covers?
Not particularly, no.
Okay. I'm gonna go on to N25. Again, is that the same kind of photo of the gun, sock, and then the other two items you have there?
Yes.
And what is the significance of the Q-tips?
They were in the bag, and I was documenting everything that was inside that bag.
Okay. How about N26? Again, we see an insert from a box. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. N27, what is that photo?
This is a close-up of the center of the Mary Kay bag.
Okay. N28 is just a picture of another box. Is that right?
Yes.
Any significance to this particular box?
I took photographs of every single box of ammunition before it was opened and then after it was opened.
Okay, ma'am, and that was from the prop truck? You did
Yes.
that? Okay. And N29, again, is that Seth Kenny's box with the blue writing?
Yes.
N30, what is that photo?
This is the inside of that box and the rounds that were inside of it.
Okay. And these rounds have silver primers as well?
Yes.
And I think you indicated 16 were dummies?
They were all dummies.
All dummies. One was suspected live.
One was unknown, which is why it was sent to the FBI.
Okay, that was the one that did shake.
Yes.
Okay. And again, you don't know these rounds that are in this insert right now, you don't know if they were in there 5 days before October 21st.
No.
You have no way of knowing. N31, is that same picture?
Yes.
And N32?
These are those rounds removed from the foam and laid out for photographs.
And same thing in N33?
A close-up of the bottom of those rounds.
Okay. And N34?
Okay, I have to jump off temporarily
I believe this
because
is a close-up of
I'm
those rounds
having
in the box.
severe latency
I have-
issues.
Then I have no further
Hope
questions on those
to
exhibits.
Close
That's all
down
the questions I
everything
have.
and then restart and hope that solves it.
Come back. Come
Yay.
back.
Oh, okay. See you soon.
All right, we're going for a redirect now. We're still only we're like a minute and 40 seconds behind. Let's
Get myself situated with my notes.
figuring out our note. Okay, we've taken a well, that went right back to the beginning. That was not what we wanted at all. There we go.
People were
All right.
present, if you recall.
We are live. We have caught up to today's
Myself,
proceedings.
Detective
We are
Hancock,
real time
and
live.
Sergeant Christopher Zook.
And it looked like there was a lot of stuff in there. Is that right?
Yes.
A lot of stuff.
But what's your understanding of what kind of business PDQ is?
That they provide props to movie sets.
Do they have to have props to provide props to movie sets?
I don't. Yes. And that would make sense.
Did the entire business appear to be full of movie props?
Yes.
Okay. And the live ammunition that you found was just that one box. Is that right?
Yes.
And when I say the one box, the gray box that had boxes in it.
Yes. Marked as 1883.
And it was marked clearly as live.
Yes.
And that was the only live ammunition you found there.
Yes.
And the
1883. It came from the Yellowstone Ranch.
Mr. Bowles asked you and showed you some photos of ammunition that was at PDQ that had the JS on the label. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Did you find any 45 long Colt dummies when you were doing your search of PDQ props?
I don't recall.
Would it help you if you looked at your report?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you take a minute and look at your report?
Look at your report. Philip Seymour Hoffman refers to his notes. See, I haven't watched 1883. I'm in the middle of
Yes.
season 3
There was at
of the
least
original
a
Yellowstone.
gun
Ranch.
belt that had dummy ammunition in it.
Other than that gun belt, did you find any boxes of 45 long Colt dummies?
I believe so, yes.
You do?
There were, you know what, I apologize. It's not specified in my report if there were additional dummies specific to 45 long Colts located. Our intent was only to find live ammunition at that point.
That was the reason you were searching it?
Yes.
Okay. Did you find any boxes, if you recall, and if not, because it wasn't the focus of your search, that's fine, just tell us. Did you find any boxes of ammunition
She didn't search
that
the
match
witness's box.
the one that's on your
Right,
screen?
fair enough.
I don't recall.
If you were to, not that I'm going to ask you to do it now, don't worry. If you were to take some time and review all of the photos that you took at PDQ, do you think that would help you answer that question?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. All I can see is like the boss from Office Space. Yeah,
And
that'd be great.
it's my understanding, based on your cross-examination testimony, that in terms of the live ammunition, you only collected 45 caliber ammunition.
Yes.
Was there other caliber live ammunition?
I don't believe so.
Okay, interesting.
So the 45 long Colt live ammunition that you collected, that we've looked at photos of, that's the only live ammunition that was there.
Yes.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm setting my house
You were
on fire.
asked some questions on cross-examination about, you wouldn't know if Sarah Zachary
I'll explain in a
moved
second. Hang on.
evidence from the prop cart to the prop truck. Do you recall that question?
Yes.
And let me ask you, do you know whether Ms. Gutierrez ever took anything out of the prop truck before it was searched?
No, I do not know.
Mr. Bowles asked
I'm
you
back.
some questions about whether you've received any
I
training
was lighting my pipe and I
in
dropped
how to
the lit
distinguish
zip up,
dummy rounds
and
and blank
there's no
rounds from
supposed to
live
go out.
rounds. Do you recall that?
This
And
was
you indicated
burning
you
my
haven't received
floor,
that training.
but I recovered
Is
it.
that right?
Correct.
So, in your experience, are movie set crime scenes very common?
No.
Do you have training in guns and ammunition?
Yes, I do.
And are you capable of measuring things?
Yes.
So without
Are you
specific
capable of
training, you are
measuring
capable of
things?
measuring the 6mm projectile or the 4mm projectile, because you can use a ruler, right?
Yes.
And you did that in this case.
Yes.
And are you capable of distinguishing brass primers from silver primers?
Yes.
Are you capable of distinguishing different shaped projectiles?
Yes.
Based on your work on this case, how do you tell a dummy round from a live round?
In this case in particular, when a large amount of the dummy rounds, when shaken, would have a rattle to it instead of having gunpowder inside of it.
And so specifically, what about that tells you that they're dummies and not live ammunition?
Well, live ammunition has
See,
gunpowder
this is where
inside
the
of it,
prosecution wants
so
to
you would not
emphasize
hear that
that it
kind
is
of
so
noise.
easy
Because you
to
don't have
tell the
BBs in
difference
with the
between
gunpowder.
Correct.
live rounds and
And the
dummy
other
round.
dummy
Any
rounds,
idiot.
how were you able to distinguish them from the live rounds?
There were holes drilled through the sides of them.
I mean, this isn't rocket science, right?
Right.
That's what
This is
she's
pretty
doing.
easy.
Yes.
It's easy to tell the difference.
And you actually, just to be safe, you sent some dummy rounds to the FBI, right?
Yes.
Did any of the dummy rounds that you sent to the FBI come back as live rounds?
No.
How does that help your case?
In terms of the dummy rounds that you have in evidence, how many dummy rounds don't rattle and don't have a hole in the side?
2.
Thank you. 2 out of how many?
250.
Is that a guess or is that an actual number? Allegedly, Ghostery, allegedly.
When you were at PDQ doing the search, is there a specific reason that you were only looking for 45 caliber rounds?
My understanding was that was the restriction of the search warrant.
Based on your understanding of the investigation, why are 45 caliber rounds significant and others not significant?
Because all of the live rounds that were located on set were 45 rounds.
And to be clear, let's talk for a moment about the live ammunition that you collected from PDQ. What color were the primers?
There were silver and brass primers collected from PDQ.
In terms of the live ammunition?
Yes.
And do you have photographs of the of the live ammunition that has silver primers?
Yes, I believe I do.
Okay.
All right.
I may have to have you come back. We may talk about that. I don't want to hang us up today.
What? Don't want to hang your. Come on.
Did all of the live rounds that you collected from PDQ, let me ask it this way. Did any of them look identical to the live rounds found on set?
No.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
All right. Here we go.
Witness.
Oh, yes, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
oh, that's all right.
Recross.
Okay,
Oh,
thank
no.
you.
No recross. All right.
The state will call Christopher Zook.
Zook. Christopher Zook is our next witness. So now the jury is allowed to ask questions, but so far the jury doesn't have any questions for the court or for the witness. So if they do, they're supposed to ask their question before the witness testimony concludes. All right, let me hide that. And that's Christopher Zook. Looks like a normal dude. What's up, Christopher Zook?
Do you swear affirm under penalty of law that the testimony you give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead. Have a seat. Talk into the microphone, please.
Go ahead and state your full name for the record.
Christopher Zook.
And Mr. Zook, how are you currently employed?
I am currently retired.
And where did you retire from?
The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office.
And back on October 21st, 2021, how were you employed?
I was a sergeant for the Sheriff's Office in the Criminal Investigations Division.
And in that capacity, did you become involved in the investigation regarding the shooting on the movie set Rust?
I did.
I want to ask you specific questions. Did you participate in a search of the prop truck?
I did.
For you
And
sci-fi nerds, he looks like a young
Were
Orson Scott
firearms
Card.
located in the prop truck?
Yes.
Where were they located?
In a safe.
Were they removed from the safe?
Yes, by CST or the criminal specialist Popple.
The lady that just
Yes,
left.
the one that just left. Yeah, she was
Okay.
the one that unloaded or took him out of the safe.
When she took them out of the safe, what'd she do with them?
So it was a large box truck that the safe was in, and I was standing outside of the box truck at the back of it, and she would take them out and put them on the bed of the floor of the truck at the opening of the back door, and then we would clear them and then take them into evidence.
Okay, so you were responsible for clearing the firearms.
Yes.
That was not Ms. Popple's job.
No, well, there was a couple of us that was making sure that they were unloaded and cleared and all that stuff because we don't want a loaded firearm in our evidence locker.
Sure. And did you come across a lever action rifle?
I did.
Lever
And
action,
tell
not a
us about
lever. Different.
I do not.
A
remember
lever
the
and a
make or model of
lever
it.
are
It
different.
was a lever action rifle.
Just say
The way I was unloading the lever actions, they were an old style gun. I did not know where the magazine or the tube was on that. So what I was doing is just going through the motion of the lever action and having the rounds eject.
Show us what you mean when you say going through the motion of a lever action for those of us that don't know what that means.
Do you mind if I sound?
Sure.
Okay. So a lever action rifle,
You
right
go
there by the trigger, there's
click,
just a little,
click, yeah.
oh, it's a lever, and you just rack it back and forth, and it will take it from the magazine and put it into the tube. And then when load or when the round is spent, you do it again and ejects it, and then while you're coming back, it will reload another round. That makes sense?
Yes.
So you have to do the action, a lever action.
And when you're doing the lever action, do the rounds inside just fly out?
They eject out. They're supposed to.
They just
Okay.
fly
And that's
out
what you
like
were doing to
magic.
unload it.
Yes.
Were you able to unload that gun?
No, not all the way. I believe I was able to unload at least a round or two, and then there was a round that was jammed.
And do you know what caliber of ammunition that lever action rifle took?
That was a 44-40
And do you know why it was jammed?
because the round that was in it was a 45, which is just like very slightly bigger.
Okay. It was enough to jam the
Yeah,
rifle.
that is correct.
Okay. All right. I'll pass the witness.
That was quick.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So, sir, are you familiar with those types of Henry rifles?
I'm not.
And so you're not aware that you don't have to lever that to extract the rounds?
I do now, but at the time I did not know that.
Okay, so now you're aware that you don't have to work the lever to get those rounds out.
Correct. On the end of the tube or the magazine that I found out later on, we had
I don't know what I'm talking about.
gun expert at the sheriff's office. His name is Deputy Steve Orr. I had him come into our ammunition room, which is covered in cinder blocks. So if it did go off, people are safe. And he showed me actually at the end of the tube, there was a part where you just twist and the rounds came out. So I know now, but at the time I did not.
Okay. So at the time you're working the lever, but later you learn you can just twist that and they'll fall out.
Correct.
Okay. Now you knew after the gun expert got it out, it was a dummy round.
I'm going to guess if I say yes or no on that one. So
Okay, don't
I'm not
guess.
yeah.
No, don't guess. So you weren't aware one way or another whether it was a dummy or another type of round.
No, I handed it off to our evidence technician, and she was going through all the rounds to see if they were dummies or not.
Okay, sir. I don't have any further questions.
A very short witness.
Were you present when Deputy Orr was removing the ammunition from that gun?
Yes.
Did the 45 caliber round come out easily?
No, it was actually jammed in the barrel of the gun. So once Deputy Orr showed me, hey, this is how you do it, we were able to take a couple rounds out, and the round was big enough it would not eject out of the ejection port. So he actually had to manipulate the round down into the tube, and then it eventually came out of the tube. So it did still fit into the tube, the magazine,
my Friday
but
night.
not into the barrel itself.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was jammed in the barrel.
Yes.
Okay. So even when you were there with Orr and you were doing it the easy way, unloading it with his knowledge, that round still didn't want to come out.
No, we had to manipulate it to get it out.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further.
May I ask one more question so I don't have to recall them?
No objection.
One question, huh?
Sir, just one last question. When you levered it, that jammed the 45 round in the barrel?
Yes. Yes. So I know there was at least a round. I don't remember if there was more than that. I know there was at least a round. So when I chambered it, that round got ejected, and then that 45 round came from the tube and went to the barrel, and that's where I freaked out. I thought I damaged the gun.
No,
but once I started
FBI
trying to get
did.
it out, it wasn't even grabbing to get it out or anything. So it did jam it. So I did jam it, but I guess, assumed that all the rounds that were in it were the correct rounds.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you.
All right, your excuse. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, done.
Witness.
The state calls Brian Litsinger.
Brian Mencina, is that what he said? Now they're saying the prosecution has upwards of 30 witnesses to call and the defense has upwards of 10 witnesses to call. This trial is expected to go through March 8th, somewhere between March 6th and March 8th. Oh, dude, take off your padded vest before you come into court. Come on. You're better than that, dude.
Sorry. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of law that the testimony you give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, have
Yes,
a seat talking to the microphone.
He just looks like a
Go ahead and
schlub.
state your name, sir.
My name is Ryan Litzinger.
Ryan, I'm sorry. I thought it was Brian. I apologize.
That's okay.
Mr. Litzinger, how are you currently employed?
I am employed as a videographer and editor with a production company in Albuquerque.
And tell us about that production company in Albuquerque. What do you do?
So we are, we outfit productions with.
Now, I'll just say
crew,
real quickly,
camera,
that's
lighting,
a bad look. When the
sound,
prosecution doesn't know the name of their own witness,
DPs,
that looks just completely garbage.
Director of photography. And we're also a rental house, so we also rent equipment.
Did you? I'm sorry.
Crewing as well. So like staffing different productions.
Okay, you help provide crew members.
Yes.
Okay.
To different productions, and like I said, also a rental house.
Okay. At any point in time, were you asked to do any work on the set of Rust?
Yes.
What work were you asked to do?
So we were asked to. We were contracted to do duties of an EPK, which is stands for electronic press kit, which is something that a lot of productions have.
Give us more information. We don't know what an EPK is or why.
Okay,
Right.
So basically, there are days that are, reserved for behind the scenes, and there's also days that are reserved for cast interviews, and that together makes an EPK. And what the production company will do with that is up to them.
Okay, so specifically, what did you do on this film? And if you can tell us what dates you did it.
So October 13th, 2021 and October 15th, 2021, we shot behind the scenes footage and also captured production audio together. And we also conducted cast interviews.
Okay, and in terms of I'm not so interested in the interviews, but in terms of the behind the scenes footage, describe to us, what are you filming and why? Are you just filming?
What are you filming in
So a lot of the time we try to get just the action in between action and cut is when a lot of times, you'll see directors planning what they want to do next, talking to the actors, wardrobe changes, audio, tweaks, anything like that. And that's really important for, people that are interested in watching the making of, or, whoever kind of gets this footage, you know what I mean? That's interesting to them. So, that's what happens on behind the scenes. We try to focus on, the DP, the director of photography.
Focus on the
director,
DP, brah.
And the actors. I mean, that's a lot of what we do.
So you're not actually filming clips for the movie. You are filming the actors and the crew working on the movie set.
Yes. Sometimes, that's, a majority of what we do is we film the actors and the crew on set working and doing their jobs. But sometimes we're at a place called Video Village, which is basically a setup where, people watch the scene that's being filmed. And we will sometimes shoot that. So it's just video of the actual movie being filmed. Sometimes we'll be there.
Understood. But even when you're filming in Video Village, you're filming people working.
Yes, they're working as well. Yes.
You're showing the director of photography looking at the monitor and seeing what is being filmed.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that some of this will make more sense a little later on.
Well, make it make sense now,
Go ahead,
not
sir.
later.
Oh no, I was going to say if I'm not.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Just for people who aren't familiar with what you do, because I'm not going to show the videos today. We're going to show them later in the trial. Did I subpoena videos from you?
Yes.
And did you provide me all of the videos that you made on the set of Rust?
Yes.
And recently, did I send some of them back to you for you to review?
Yes.
How many videos did I send back to you for you to review?
I counted 17.
Nah.
Do you recall approximately how many videos you sent me in response to my subpoena?
Don't you dare say none.
I do not.
Can you
Just
estimate?
bad.
Can you give us an estimate?
It could be. It could be over 100.
Okay.
I mean, it could be.
Yeah.
I would have to. I don't recall. I didn't count, but
It's okay.
it could be over 100.
Okay. I'm happy with your answer, but
Well, no, okay, that's not
I
important
can
whether
show
she's happy with the
you
answer or
what you
not.
sent
It's whether
me.
the
Oh, do you have a
jury
number?
can
I don't have
make
the
heads or
number, but I
tails
have
of it
all
and
your
what amount of
files.
Oh,
weight
yeah,
they're
yeah.
going to give the
Okay.
statement. It's, I find your testimony to accept. No, that's not good. Can't ask that really.
If you'll just give me a moment.
Just give me a moment.
Switch gears here.
It's like, oh, let's skip through this, but we can't. We're caught up live at the court now.
No problem. May I approach?
Approach.
Does this file look familiar?
You shouldn't be doing this right now. This should have been done long ago.
Oh, that's the 17th. Okay. Do you see how they're numbered?
Oh, shut up. I keep reaching to fast forward, but I can't. Because I got to admit, I'm getting a bit sleepy here. I had 2 hours before last night's all-night stream, and I had about 30 minutes today. Feeling a little bit sleepy. I'm going to try to make it to lunch. And at lunch, we'll shut it down. I'll take a bit of a nap, and maybe we'll start streaming. I don't know. We'll have to play it by ear. But I think we'll shut this down about lunchtime because I'm wrecked. Like whatever wrecked is, I am the definition of it. You know, I work what? 9-hour days, and then I came home. I slept for 2 hours. I did the all-night stream here in Korea of day 1, and we're on day 2 now, and it's starting to catch up to me. So
Seeing the electronic
we've
files
got somewhere around
refresh your
another
memory?
hour
Yeah,
together.
I mean, just about how much
Yeah.
content there was. 'Cause
How
it
many
was a long day.
videos? How many videos did you give me?
126.
Okay, thank you. And the 17 videos that I sent back to you for you to review, do you recognize those videos when you looked at them?
Yes.
And are those the videos that you filmed?
Yes.
And those specific 17 videos, what day did you film those videos?
Oh, I've got lots of caffeine and lots of nicotine.
October 14th.
I'm going to take like a couple of minutes here. I just need to stretch the legs. I've been sitting down for like 9 hours now.
So what I would like to do at this point in time is
And by 9 hours, I mean 6.
move for the admission of all videos from production outfitters that the court deems relevant and admissible as we move through the trial.
No objection.
All right, these will be of the 17.
Minor of the 17, I think the defense does have some that
Oh,
they
okay.
are intending
That's
to
fine.
admit also.
All right, okay.
So this is kind of a joint
Yes,
foundation.
yes, per stipulation, we'll do it this way, and I will so admit.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I pass the witness. Oh, sorry, Ryan, not so fast.
First time here, huh?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being with us. I don't have any questions for you. You mentioned Video Village. How exactly does that work? What is that?
We'll see who the
that's
next
an
witness is.
external,
Somebody
monitor
take
that is
note of who the
separate
next
from
witness is, because I'll
cameras
probably
that
be
are
sitting
being
on the bench by the time on the witness stand
film crew.
before I get back.
It's
I
separate,
just
so
need
they
to take
can-
3-4
they can
minutes
watch
and
that
just
the
walk around the
director or
house, stretch the
photographer
legs,
can
etc.,
watch what's
etc. Be right
happening
back.
Separately.
Okay. And are you generally familiar with film sets and things like Video Village and whatnot.
I see quite a few of them.
All right. When that kind of system goes down, how do people have to adapt on set?
When a system like Video Village will go down? I haven't seen it go down, but I would imagine that they would probably.
Hang on, I'm going to object because I think it's speculative at this point, but I also think that there are going to be plenty of witnesses who can talk about what they did in fact when it went down.
That's fine.
All right, thank you.
Did you witness any scenes actually being shot when you were on set?
Yes.
Did those scenes involve Mr. Baldwin?
Yes.
All right. Did he seem to be in command of those scenes?
Objection, foundation.
Judge, he said he saw it.
Okay.
Overruled.
Okay.
Well, the one that sticks out, he wouldn't have been in command because I think that it seemed that he was on a horse and he was playing dead. So it wasn't really much of a.
Okay. And what I'm talking about more so is, insofar as the pace of filming and things like that, did he seem to have an influence on that?
Sorry?
Wait, you don't talk. Sorry.
In the various scenes that you saw Mr. Baldwin in, did he seem to be in control of how the scene was actually being shot and how quickly he was asking other people to work?
Like I said, so they're a short amount of time. What?
Second.
Did you make any edits to the videos that you sent Ms. Morrissey via subpoena?
No, there was no edits to the videos.
All right, thanks. Nothing further.
Any redirect?
Just quickly. Mr. Litzinger.
All right, what did I miss?
You expressed that you have some familiarity with the monitors in Video Village.
Yes. Yeah.
And you filmed inside Video Village on the set of Rust, didn't you?
Yes.
So let me ask you this. The monitor that the director of photography is looking at in Video Village.
Yeah.
Are they only looking at what the camera is recording?
Yeah.
They can see multiple cameras.
Right. But they can they see anything that is not being recorded by a camera?
Yes.
How?
Like I said, some of those monitors are attached to other cameras.
But if the cameras aren't rolling, how are they able to see through the monitor?
That's a specific question to what kind of monitor.
Got some butter on the
That's
stash. Thank you.
beyond your knowledge in terms of what
Thanks,
they have
Daily
on,
Quick
on
Bites.
this movie set.
Stash cam.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what
No
kind of
problem.
we're using.
No problem. We'll talk to somebody
Yeah.
else about it. Thank you, sir.
Got a little bit of a baguette with butter on it here. Some butter migrated to the
The next
stash.
witness is,
Apologies.
Should we take a early lunch break or should we keep going?
I think the next witness isn't going to take very long, so if we can get
Okay, sure.
him done and
Yes.
then we'll go to lunch.
Fine.
Jason Hawks is who the state will call next.
All right, this is the last witness before lunch.
Gentleman in the Elmo.
Can you call him more affirmatively?
Or as I call it, the last witness before I go to sleep. That's a weird haircut. All right.
Do you swear affirm under penalty of law that the testimony you'll give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, have a seat, talking to the mic. Thank you.
Sir, please state your name for the record.
Jason Hawks.
How are you currently employed?
I own a company that analyzes device extractions and cell phone records for attorneys.
Oh God, cell phone guy. I always hate cell phone testimony.
Mr. Hawks.
He's not a
can you
hawk. He's a
give,
rabbit. Look at
the
those
ladies
teeth.
and gentlemen of the jury some information about your background and training.
Certainly. So I started in law enforcement in 2005 with the Alameda County Sheriff's Office. I remained there until 2017, with the last about 7 years being assigned to investigations. After leaving the Sheriff's Office, I went to the District Attorney's Office, where I was an investigator for the DA. I was there for 3 years, and then I started this company. Specific to device extractions, I've attended classes from Cellbrite, which is a company that extracts information from a handset. I'm a certified operator, certified physical analyst, and I've recently taken the advanced smartphone analysis.
How did you become involved in this case?
To pay?
I was contacted by the prosecutor's office, I believe it was about a year ago in March, late March.
Yeah, I think that's a rug.
23.
And
Okay, I'm
were you
agreeing.
asked to perform
And I
any
also
work?
think he went to
I
the
was.
rodent orthodontia clinic.
And let me back up for a second.
Ooh,
Have you been, I apologize.
backing on up.
Have you been qualified as an expert witness in cell phone records and device analysis?
I have.
And how many times have you been qualified as an expert in those areas?
Between records from the carrier and records from the handset, I've been qualified 53 times in 5 states.
Ooh, fancy.
Do you recall what those states are?
Let's see, Texas, Louisiana, Michigan, Georgia, Arizona, 6 states, in California.
Okay. And now you're here in New Mexico.
Now I'm in New Mexico.
I would ask the court to recognize Mr. Hawks as an expert in cell phone records and device analysis.
No objection.
All right, so you're still recognized.
Now you get to add New Mexico to your list. Mr. Hawks, can you explain to the jury kind of what kind of technology you're using and kind of how the cell phone records interface with the software, the extraction software?
Sure. So our smartphones are essentially a bunch of databases that are stored. So programs like Cellbrite go in and they extract the information from the handset. And they do it in a way that doesn't change the nature of the artifact. So if I receive a text message but don't read it, it doesn't change that unread status. So at first, all of the information is removed from the handset, and then it's parsed through Physical Analyzer, is the name of the program. In Physical Analyzer, the information is essentially put back together, and it's converted to whatever time zone it needs to be converted to.
In this particular case, what kind of work did you perform?
I reviewed the Celebrite extraction of Miss Gutierrez Reed's her iPhone.
When an extraction is done, does everything on the phone get kind of downloaded?
Unfortunately, not everything. So not all of the information is always recovered, but things like text messages, phone calls, images, things like that, are downloaded from the handset.
And when you you received the raw data from the extraction that was done of Ms. Gutierrez's phone, is that right?
Yes.
So just to be clear, you yourself did not perform the extraction.
That's correct.
Do you know who performed the extraction? Not the person's name, but the agency.
The regional computer forensics lab here in New Mexico.
So how did that data come to you?
It came to me on an external hard drive.
And when you received that data, what did you do in order to conduct an analysis?
So I opened the data in the physical analyzer program, which essentially takes the extracted data and runs it through the most current version of the program. And with that, it breaks out the data into various different categories.
Okay. And what kind of categories?
Everything from cell sites that the phone might have seen, images, videos, audio files, notes, text messages, iMessages, voice logs. There's most of the data that we see on our phones is accessible to the program.
And were you able to separate out information related to this particular device that identifies this device?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what I am marking as State's Exhibit 92.
They've got to get to they've got to get to eyewitnesses. They've got to get to the statements of the people that actually were near where this went down. Not corporate shit and how, not how corporate handle it, not what's going on. They're wandering. The prosecution is not focused right now. The prosecution needs to focus. And cell phone extraction is it's always the most tedious, boring testimony of the entire trial.
Do you recognize that?
I do.
What is that?
This is the device information that was captured by the Cellbrite program for the phone.
How do we know that this is Hannah Gutierrez's phone?
Well, I mean, I received the extraction of the phone. There's some information on here, such as like the phone number, an email address, things like that, that would suggest
they need to be proud of themselves, though. They never get permission unless there's a trial.
Permission to publish?
Yeah.
Let's just kind of look at a couple of things here. I know it's.
She looks like a mad scientist the way she's hunkered over her
tell you what kind of
overhead projector.
Oh, I'm sorry. Does this tell you what kind of phone it was?
It does.
What kind of phone was it?
So on number 6, you can see where it says detected model. It says iPhone, and then in parentheses, it says D as in David, 54, P as in Paul, A as in Adam, P as in Paul. That's the iPhone code for an iPhone 12 Pro Max.
Okay. And I'm sorry, Does this monitor usually come on? Because I can't see. That would be great if I can see it on the monitor in front of me, so I don't have to walk back.
I'm sorry, but is this another AI fuck up that we have to deal with? And we can't
Thank you,
fast
sir.
forward through it. I'm dying over here.
Does it provide the date and time of the extraction?
The date and time of the extraction is actually on a different part of the extraction.
What's in the number 2 column?
That is the
or
date.
row rather.
I'm sorry. That is that's the date and time that the phone was displaying at the time of when it was extracted in UTC.
Okay. So what is your understanding about the date? I don't particularly care about the time, the date of the extraction.
That the extraction occurred on December 8th of 2021.
And is there an Apple ID associated with this phone?
There is.
Associated with this
So that
phone.
is number 22
What's
under
that?
Apple ID,
Ugh.
where it says hannahmemail@gmail.com.
And what is the phone number associated with this phone?
The phone number is on line number 24, which is 928-444-3555.
What's the owner name of this phone?
Hannah Gutierrez.
The name that would appear on, say, a Bluetooth device is found on line 32, which is Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal.
And
What?
Did you, at my request,
that totally caught me off guard. We got to go back. What the hell was that?
Device is found on line 32, which is Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal.
okay.
She is not. They're not.
And what is the phone number associated with this phone?
The phone number is on line number 24, which is 928-444-3555.
What's the owner name of this phone?
The name that would appear on, say, a Bluetooth device is found on line 32, which is Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal.
That's the third time I've listened to this, but it doesn't get any less funny. Gorilla Glue Pussy Pal. Oh no, sorry, Gorilla Grip Pussy. Oh no, you can't label your phone as Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal. I was just sitting here minding my own business, trying to stay awake, and suddenly I get broadsided by Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal. Oh no, Hannah, what's wrong? What's going on? Oh,
Okay. And
oh God.
did you, at my request, did you separate out some contact?
All right, we're back up to speed. Gorilla Grip Pussy. No, that's wrong.
At my request, did you sort of pull out text messages?
Don't talk about pulling out in the same sentence as Gorilla Grip
from
Pussy
the date
Pal.
of October 20th, 2021?
I did.
I'm going to show you what I'm marking as States Exhibit 94.
Oh my God.
And there are 3 pages to this exhibit.
Okay.
Permission.
Did he identify it?
Oh, I'm sorry. Skip this step. May I approach? Mr. Hawks, do you recognize that?
Oh man, that is too funny.
We are looking at a text thread between the 928 number I already referenced and a 505 number.
Permission to publish and
Oh, I'm Googling it now.
Permission of 92, 93, and 94, and then I think we're also going to do a general moving like we discussed.
Okay.
No
So,
objection.
all right, so you may publish.
When we're seeing this text message here that's on the screen, is this a text message from that phone or to that phone?
It is a text message from the 928 number to the 505 number.
Okay, and can you read it for us?
The content?
Yes.
Yes, it's LOL. I don't need that.
People, as a public service announcement, from the bottom of my heart, no joking, no jokes, nothing aside. For the love of God and everything that is holy, do not Google Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal. For the love of God, I'm serious. Do not do it. I need a Danny on disavow. Don't do it
Tonight anyways. Right
Don't
on.
do
I might
it.
go smoke in the jacuzzi soon, but maybe not. I'm so pooped.
Okay, and I'm going to show you the second page of Exhibit 94. And is that a text to or from Ms. Gutierrez's phone?
It is from her phone.
And it is to the 505 number?
Correct.
And if you can, and what's the date?
The date is October 20th, 2021 at 7:48 and 46 seconds PM local time.
Okay. And can you read that for us?
It says, headed down to get high Outback, :B.
I'm going to show you the third page of Exhibit 94.
I'm not joking. Don't do it. This isn't like, oh, don't stick beans up your
And
nose,
what's
hoping
in
you
the
stick
blue?
beans up your nose. Do
So the blue is
not
an incoming
Google
message
that.
from that 505 number to her phone.
And just for context, what is
I'm
that message?
traumatized.
That message says, time to eat now. How the blaze says go.
And then is there and what time was that message sent?
So that message was received by the phone at 8:24 and 46 seconds PM, in red at 8:25 and 47 seconds.
Okay. And so this is the time that it was received,
Correct.
and this is the time it was read.
Correct.
And then is there a response to that text that we're looking at here in green?
There is.
And what time is that sent?
That is sent at 8:25 and 53 seconds.
And this is from Ms. Gutierrez's phone to the 505 number?
Yes.
And what does that text message say?
It says, I'm still smoking.
Okay, thank you.
All right, this ain't good, people. This is not good, because this is part of the deal. They're saying she was doing too much. She was drinking too much. She was smoking
Sort of
weed.
separate out for
This is a
me,
bad look. This is a bad
short thread between Ms. Gutierrez's phone and the Dad Kula contact.
Yes.
I'm going to show you what I'm marking as States Exhibit 95. States Exhibit 95 is a 2-page exhibit. May I approach?
Yes.
Mr. Hawks, do you?
Their message.
I move for the admission of States Exhibit 95 and ask permission to publish.
No objection.
All right, States 95 is admitted, you may publish it.
And that message, is that from the 928 number?
Correct. So any of the messages that are in green are from the 928 number, and any messages in blue are from an outside number.
Okay, and can everybody read that? That way I don't have to have Mr. Hawks read it. And then I'm going to show you the second page, if everybody's had a moment to read that. I'll show you the second page.
Yeah, send us
in-
pictures of your
in the
boxes. Let's
second
share
page.
box pictures. That's kind of weird, but you know, we do what we got to do.
What are we looking at here?
So the top blue box is the response from the previous message that says "will do," and then beneath that is an image that was sent to her phone from the outside number.
We can read this now. Adara the Wholesome. My God,
We're
Chet.
looking at a thumbnail.
Try having a
of
personality.
the
Use the
image
mic.
that was sent to her phone. So the image name is img_0686.heic, and we're looking at the inset thumbnail.
And were you able to collect that actual photo for me so we don't have to look at a thumbnail?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll get there in a minute. At my request, did you separate a text thread between Ms. Gutierrez, the Dad Kula contact, and a contact by the name of Jason Bowles?
Yes.
No, leave blue waffles out of this, please. All right, just kind of waiting for them to work their collective brain power here. Wow, I was looking forward to going to sleep very soon until Gorilla Power Pussy Pal came into play. What the fuck is that? That Gorilla Power Pussy Pal was not on the Lorax bingo card
Mr.
for
Hawks,
today.
do you recognize that?
I do.
Oh
And
no.
what is that?
This is part of the text message thread that you were just referencing.
And what's the date of that text exchange?
What is in front of me here starts on December 1st, 2021, and ends also December 1st, 2021.
Okay, give me just 1 second.
Yeah, yes, great success. Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal. Oh no. Ugh. Ugh.
I move for the admission of State's Exhibit 96 and permission to publish.
No objection.
States 96 is admitted, you may publish.
I'm lost and stunned by that. I'm 5 minutes behind the court right now. I hope the jurors are also going, what the fuck?
Sure.
What?
So the top blue box is a message from the Dadcula contact to Miss Gutierrez's phone. And the second blue box is an incoming message from Mr. Bowles' number to Miss Gutierrez's phone.
So was this a?
Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Mhm. Oh, sure.
Okay. Wow, those are some severe eyebrows on Amy Winehouse. Well, you can't see Amy Winehouse because my picture was in the way while they're doing the sidebar. Let's just go to lunch. The Lorax demands sleep. And I said, we're not going to get through this entire thing today here on Legal Vices. But what we will do is on Sunday morning U.S. time, we'll do a makeup stream. We'll catch up so that we can start live on Monday. But I've had 2 hours of sleep in the last 54 hours. Okay, two and a half hours. Sorry, that we have to be honest. We have to be honest. 2.5 hours sleep in the past more than 2 days. So it's time for the Lorax to check out. But holy crap! I was not expecting
Mr. Hawks, let me back up for just a moment.
What the hell?
How do we know that 3 people were involved in this text conversation?
So the Cellbrite program will pull out text threads. So if you and I have a text thread and you and I and another person have a text thread, those are 2 separate threads in my phone. So
are you threatening me?
Are
you threatening me?
These 3 people.
Lame,
Okay.
sorry.
This is not a thread that was only between Ms. Gutierrez and Mr. Bowles.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
You missed Gorilla Grip Pussy
Does
Pal.
everybody
That's
have
all
an
I'm going to
opportunity
say.
to read that? I'm going to show you the second page.
And while she's showing that, Dara the Wholesome with the $2 super chat, she's got surfing on the mind, not this trial. Shaking my head. And Island, hard to actually do work. Stupid. What did I miss? As I said, the only thing you missed is Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal.
Yeah, we're looking at a continuation of that same text thread. So the top blue box is an incoming message from the contact from Mr. Bowles. The green box beneath that is an outgoing message to both because it's a group thread. And then the bottom blue box is an incoming message from the Dadcula contact.
Okay. Everybody have an opportunity to read those. I know they're pretty short, and at this point, they may not make much sense, but we're getting there. I'm going to show you the.
One of the jurors didn't see.
Today's been a big nothing burger so far. I mean, a few things like, like, hey, let's go down and let's keep smoking and shit like that. But otherwise, it's been foundational nonsense that just sucks the life out of any trial. You want to get through it as thoroughly, but as quickly as practical. We've had no major revelations today whatsoever. Tired Legal Vices is unhelpful. That may be the case. I'm not arguing. Aside from Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal, that was a major discovery. We'll get there eventually. Mr. Witness, have you ever hung 10? You got to hang 10 on the surfboard or skateboard, I guess. How many pals with Gorilla Grip in a 3-way? Oh, chat. And you're saying I'm not helpful? Come on. Oh my God, chat. There were lots and lots of bullets everywhere on the set. Well, okay, that seems to be the main takeaway from today. Is there were lots and lots of bullets everywhere on set. I'll give you that. That was the that's the takeaway. And Squizgar 2322, have you heard how Fawny and Nate got busted today? No. What happened there? I have no idea. I'll have to check it out when I wake up and I have more time. See, this is the problem with doing shit like that, Michael. I heard Hannah's Gorilla Grip is a major revelation. See, this is why you don't do dumb shit like that and name your phone dumb shit stuff, especially dumb shit stuff like that.
Okay, jury, we're going to break for lunch.
Oh, thank fuck.
Please don't talk among yourselves or anyone else about the evidence received here in court, okay? And thank you. We'll be back at, what do you all want? 12:40 or what? 1 o'clock? What do you want?
Is one possible, Judge?
You sure it is? Okay, 1 o'clock. Okay. All right.
All rise.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 a.m. my time. That's an hour and 10 minutes they're going to take for lunch. Oh my Lord. All right, I guess that's the best we're gonna get.
Okay, and
Oh, wait.
counsel, because he's still under oath and still testifying, please don't talk with any other witnesses about this case.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. All right, so counsel will be back at 10 of, and just in case there's anything to address. Okay, thank you. We're in recess.
Okay, we still haven't figured out what stereotype person, whether it's a gypsy or like Southwest Latina. We still haven't figured out if she's a paralegal or a lawyer. I believe she's a lawyer. The way I saw her walking into court yesterday leads me to believe that she might be one of the lawyers. But anyway, that's beside the point. Squizgar, what's up? Squizgar 2322. Trump's lawyer got cell phone records from 2021 before he was appointed. Over 200 voice calls and 12,000. Who, especially like higher up people, have time to send 12,000 texts? I don't think I've sent 12,000 texts in my life. But anyway, thank you so much, Squizgar. To be honest, this trial is scheduled for 2 weeks or like just very slightly more than 2 weeks. But the first day or two of all trials are kind of this slog where you have to introduce all of your evidence. You have to bring in the people that can testify where it was made, how it was made, what it was made with, and all. But then you have to bring the cell phone guy. So we got the cell phone. It downloaded the Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal and everything else on the phone. It takes a while just to establish the foundation of your case. But this goes back to the beginning in that they dropped the ball during the opening statements because, like below mid prosecution, dude dropped the ball so much. He didn't tell us what the elements of the crime are. She's been actually charged with involuntary manslaughter under 2 different statutes of what that means. And the jury can choose, okay, if these elements are met, then this type of involuntary manslaughter can be found guilty. If not, this type, if these other criteria are met, then she can be found guilty of this other definition of the charges. But they haven't told us what those elements are. They haven't told us what they have to prove. So the jury's listening to this. They're going, why are we sitting here listening to, did people cross the yellow crime scene tapes or not? How many of what kind of bullets there were, how things were loaded and unloaded with lever action rifles. They're going, how does all of this fit into it? The state at some point has to delineate and specifically state what the elements of the crime are and how Hannah Gutierrez's actions or inactions contributed to that result. So I'm trying to think like a juror, and it's bewildering me. I don't think the jury has a clue what's going on right now. They're like, what are we supposed to be listening to? What are we supposed to be focusing on? And I don't think there's an answer for that because the state hasn't told us what we're supposed to be focusing on. We'll have to see what happens in the afternoon session, but I can't do the afternoon session. As I said, I've had 2.5 hours sleep in the last over 50 hours. So I'm gonna have to shut this down now during lunch. We'll see what happens. I'll try to set my alarm for an hour, but don't hold your breath for Lorax coming back. If I don't come back in an hour and 10 minutes from now, check me out Sunday morning U.S. time, where I will do the restream of the afternoon session for day 2, which is today. I'll focus on that gorilla grip pussy. No. That's a term I never ever want to hear again in my life. Yeah, the state hasn't been at all that not that they haven't been all that impressive. They have been the exact opposite of impressive so far. And lead prosecutor, she's like every 5 seconds she's doing this. Of course, she's not hitting her microphone. She's just like putting it up in her hair. She's doing this. She's gesturing. It's just her glasses are distracting me. Take care of yourself. We can wait. We are gonna have to, because without a sidekick, we're not gonna make it. Stay crazy, you loon. That sounds like a high school yearbook entry. You're stay cool. See you next year. Stay crazy, you loon. Thanks, Sierra Bill. Yeah, the glasses, they drive me insane. It's like David Caruso from CSI Miami on steroids. She's just constantly whipping these glasses around, and it's really distracting. But I don't know what they're distracting us from, because they haven't told us what parts we're supposed to be paying attention to yet. Gorilla grip pussy pal is just another word for snapper. Yeah. Michael Burke says, see you when you wake up. Daily quick bites. No. I think snapper sounds cooler. No, none of the euphemisms for parts of the human body sound better than the actual names themselves. All right, guys. We're gonna shut this down now. They've got lunch for the next hour and 5 minutes. Find your way in the crowd. Find out who you want to go to, where you want to go. I just want to say, from the very, very bottom of my good old grifty Lorax heart, thank you so much for being here. I'm not sure how many people we have right now. Let me pull up the numbers. YouTube and YouTube Studio content. We got our content live from New York. It's Saturday night. Oh God, that can't possibly be right. Say what? Let me pull this up here. All right, you got 429 people here. We're gonna shut this down because it's just I'm exhausted. It's lunch. We'll see you when we see you. Probably, there's a very slight possibility after lunch, but probably not. We'll probably see you Sunday morning. So take care, everybody. Enjoy whatever you got for the next little bit. We'll see you later. Thank you, and don't Google Gorilla Grip pussy pal. I'm sorry, just don't do it. Thank you so much, mods, for sticking with me through the F at Friday stream, through this stream, and thank you, chat, for being here. I'm sorry I was a little bit sluggish today, but as we've been talking about, it's F at Friday, and I've had zero sleep. Well, okay, 2.5 hours sleep. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being the best chat on the entire internet. Thank you so much for the support, and great success. Stop. And we will see you either very, very soon or on Sunday morning. Until then, take care. And people, remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you go, whoever you do, whatever you do with, etc., etc., just make sure you always, without fail, enjoy your legal vices. Law Rack saying we'll see you when we see you. Stay tuned. Bye now.